Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see in the picture today, let's start the story of what if Issei awakened the legendary wielder and become Dragon Slayer Part 4. Before we start, please go support DragongodAstaroth for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. Chapter 6: A Day in Kyoto and Family Secrets. Issei's Dream, Issei Pave. I was walking through a beautiful green field, the most beautiful field that I could ever lay my eyes on. I mentally guessed I might have been somewhere in Europe, or more specifically in Britain from what I've seen on TV. But I quickly tossed that idea out of my head because this place I was in was far too beautiful and majestic to exist in the modern age. They say, in awe, this place is so beautiful. Smiles, it is, isn't it? They say, surprised. When I followed where the voice was coming from, I looked over to the hillside to see a beautiful girl around my age. She had beautiful long golden blonde hair and majestic emerald green eyes. She wore a blue dress with gold accents throated. I could tell that despite her cute and beautiful looks that she also possessed the aura of both nobility and a warrior. But despite all that, only one thing came through my mind. Issei mind in awe, how can someone be as pretty and beautiful as her? Issei blushes, who are you? Smiles, my name is Artoria, and it is so good to finally meet you, Issei. Issei, surprised, how do you know my name? Artoria giggles. Well, Shira doesn't stop talking about you, and I guess you can say I'm your second grandmother. Issei blinks in confusion. Shock. THH. Artoria smiles nervously. I know it's a lot to take in since how me and Shira met is somewhat complicated to say the least. Issei shocked, boo, but that's impossible since I've never met you before and Grandpa only married Grandma Rin. Artoria smiles nervously. He did, but he also married me technically as well since I knew Shiro before he met Rin. Issei confused. You're not making any sense. Just who are you and why are you saying that you're my grandmother? Because last time I checked, the only grandmother that I knew and had was Rin Tasaka. Artoria serious. My name is Artoria Pendragon, but you knew me by another name, King Arthur, ruler of the Kingdom of Camelot and the Knights of the Round Table. Issei? Shocked what? I was completely shocked I was currently speaking to King Arthur, and that all this time he was actually a girl in disguise. So many questions were going through my head like why is she here? Why is she saying she's my grandmother when she's technically over 1,000 years old? Why didn't Grandpa Shira mention her to me when we spoke the other night? Artoria concern, I know that you have a lot of questions, and I will do my very best to answer all of them for you. A safe breath. Serious start by answering. How do you know my grandfather and does my father know you? Artoria nods. No, your father doesn't know about me even though technically he is my son. Serious. As for how I know Shiro, it's actually how we're meeting right now. They say, shocked at how your soul is also an Avalon just like Grandpa. Artoria smiles fondly while nodding. Yes, he was actually just a year or two younger than you when we first met. He held such a high ideal to become a champion of justice and being able to save everyone in front of him, which were things I found most endearing. Eventually we started to become close and fell in love, of course. When Shiro met Rin, despite how rocky their first meeting, also became close and started to develop romantic feelings for one another. I, of course, told Shiro to go ahead and go for it, since I didn't want him to be bound to a dead spirit such as myself despite his protests that I was his first love. I say, mind sighs, I see. So Grandpa had the same dilemma that I'm currently in because even though I love Riaz, but my heart also belongs to Azteeth. Even though Azteeth was okay with me having a harem, if she finds out that Riaz is weak, then she'll never let me be with her. That's not to mention if Riaz finds out about my relationship with Azteeth, then no doubt her jealous nature will take over and demand that I'm hers alone. I'm really starting to think that I inherited all these female problems from Grandpa. Artoria smiles. After Shiro and Rin got married and decided to have your father, I may have sent a bit of my own unique spiritual energy into Rin's womb, making Guru both mine and Rin's child. Issei shocked. So wait, are you saying that I'm part Pendragon and I can wield Excalibur? Artoria serious. In some ways, yes, but also some ways, no. You see though, we are not really blood related since I'm only a spirit. Both you and your father hold a piece of my spirit, the spirit of the Pendragon family, hence, You technically inherit my aptitude to wield holy swords along with Excalibur, as well the holy energy I was born with. And with you currently in possession of Avalon, not only will it protect you from hurting yourself when using these aspects despite you being a devil. Issei mind, amazed, so I could technically use both holy and demonic together? Serious. No doubt if everyone found out about this, then I look like a serious threat even within the devil faction. Size looks like this will have to be another secret that I will have to keep from everyone until the time is right. As soon as I finished that thought, I saw Artoria turning into gold particles similar to how Grandpa. Issei smiled sadly. It seems that our time is up. Artoria smiles sadly. Yes, it is. But before I go, I have a request from you. They say curious. What is it? Artoria serious. When you leave Kyoto, I want you to make it one of your missions to find and collect all of the Excalibur's pieces and make Excalibur whole again. They say shocked. What? Why? Artoria, sad, and I don't know, but for some reason I can sense that the remaining pieces of Excalibur are in pain and crying out to be whole again. I once asked Shiro to do the same a few years back, but he didn't want to go to war with the church, which I understood, but their screams have gotten louder, Issei. And I think you are the only one that can ease their pain. Confused, but how? Artoria smiles softly while placing her hand on chest. You hold Avalon. Once you're in the presence of one of the Excalibur, the fragment will naturally be drawn to you. Once it does, the fragment will be absorbed into you and placed inside Avalon. And once you collect all of the pieces, Avalon will begin to reforge the fragments to become whole once again. I say serious. Issei smiles softly. In that case, I'll try my best, Grandma. It was then Artoria smiled happily and hugged Issei, thanking her grandson for helping him for doing this request that she asked of him. Artoria smiles while hugging. Thank you so much, Issei. I'm so glad that I have you as my grandson. Issei smiles while hugging Artoria. Of course, Grandma. I'll see you soon. Okay? Artoria nods while smiling happily. Right. Song end. But that I saw my grandmother disappear into golden particles returning to Avalon. It was then the scene changed, which meant I still probably had at least a little bit more time before I woke up. When the area changed, I was in a large Japanese manor that I knew all too well since I spent a lot of my childhood in this place. When the area changed, I was in a large Japanese manor that I knew all too well since I spent a lot of my childhood in this place. Issei curious. This is Grandmarin and Grandpa Shiro's house. What am I doing here? Sniffles while shedding tears. Issei, startled. When I looked to my left, I saw a beautiful woman with aqua eyes and long wavy brown hair with strands gray. She wore attire consisting of a black dress like the ones that people wear during a funeral. Once I saw who it was, my heart sank since I knew who this person was and why she was crying in the first place. Issei said in Grandma Rin, I remember this day. This was the day of Grandpa Shiro's funeral. Sad and Obasin, are you okay? Rin sniffles. Smiles weakly. What are you doing here? I looked behind me to see a younger version wearing a black suit while having a saddened expression on my face, and for good reasons. Since the day Grandpa died hurt me as well, since I admired Grandpa even before I found out he was some baddest hero. He would tell me all of the things he did while traveling, since at the time he told me he was a very famous archery coach and that he would teach at private schools and celebrities from around the world on how to use a bow and arrow. He would even give me a few lessons when I would visit with my parents. I remembered fondly of how proud he was with me always hitting my marks, and that he told me I was a prodigy just like him with a bow. Say, child, saddened, I didn't see you with everyone else, so I got worried. Rin smiles weakly while wiping tears away. I see, I'm sorry that I worried you, eyes. It was then I saw my younger self walk to Grandma Rin and sat next to her while giving her a hug. Issei, child, saddened, I miss Grandpa. Rin, saddened, I miss him too. I miss him so much. Issei, child, saddened, Grandma, are you going to be okay, without Grandpa around? Rin smiles weakly, I'll be fine. Don't you worry, pretty little head, okay? Issei, child, saddened. Okay? It was then I saw Grandma Rin pulling me a closer hug, in which she pulled out a beautiful red gem pendant. If I remember correctly, my grandmother was a professional gemologist who helped people dictate the purity and value of gems, jewels, and diamonds on top of collecting a few for herself. I would remember seeing her jewel collection whenever came over to visit and admired how pretty and shiny they looked. My grandmother would tell the names of the jewels and where they came from. Issei surprised that pendant. Bryn smiles. Issei, do you know what this pendant is? Issei, child, thinking I think so. You said that pendant is how you and Grandpa Shiro got together? Bryn nods while smiling fondly. That's right. Out of all the jewels that I've collected over the years, this is my most treasured and favorite out of all of them, since it helped me be with the man of my dreams, which was your grandfather. Issei, child, and oh wow. Bryn smiles fondly. And now I want you to have it, Issei. When the time is right, I want you to give this pendant to the woman that you will spend the rest of your life with. Can you promise that you will do that, Issei? Issei mind serious. I remember getting the pendant from Grandmarin that night, and I'm pretty sure it's still where I left it. I was actually planning on giving the pendant to Astith before she moved away, but I guess I must have forgotten since we got these rings instead. Maybe, when I confess my feelings to Riaz, I'll give it to her as a sign of my affection for her. But when the time is right, Issei, child smiles, I promise Grandma. Bryn smiles warmly. That's good, oh Issei, my precious little gem. I know that you are destined to do great and amazing things in the future. Issei, child smiles happily. I will, Grandma, you'll see. As soon as my younger self said those words, the memory started to vanish and a huge opened up above me, signaling that it was time for me to get up. Issei smirks. Well, time to get up, I guess. Line break. Isaka's palace, Issei's room, 6:10 a.m. As Issei started to slowly open his eyes due to the ray sunlight coming into the room since he met Amaterasu, he told himself a crappy joke that Amaterasu was trying to be his alarm clock, or something. When his eyes finally adjusted to the light, he felt his arms restrained, and when looked to see what holding them, he saw both Ingvold and Urza sleeping on top of them like pillows. This put a soft smile on his face since he couldn't deny how cute and adorable they look while sleeping, though this did make Issei wonder about the sleeping arrangements when he returns home with them since Riaz and Asia always sleep with him, and he hoped that there wouldn't be any fighting between all of them. Issei mind sighs. I guess I'll worry about it when we cross it, I guess. It was then Issei looked over to his phone to see that it was 10 minutes after 6, which was perfect because he remembered that Naruto and Sasuke should be getting ready for their morning sparring training, which he wanted to take part in. But he also saw that he had missed a call from Riaz while he was unconscious, which concerned him, so he decided it was best to call her as soon as he left the room. But as tried to get up to leave the room to get ready, he felt something was on top of him, which started to move around. Being able to use his free hand, he decided to lift his covers to see who or what was on top of him. Is it confused? What the? When he removed part of the covers, he was completely shocked, but also blushing up a storm while having blood trickling down his nose. What was under his covers was Yusaka, but the most shocking part was that she was completely naked. Finally feeling the sun hit her face, Yusaka began groggily to start to wake up and rub her eyes since she couldn't believe that it was morning already. Isaka groggy him. Is it morning already? Just 5 more minutes. Issei shocked. Lady Yusaku, what are you doing here? Isaka startled smiles. Well, good morning, eyes. Did you sleep well? Issei sighs. I slept fine, but you still didn't answer my question as to why you're not only naked, but also why you were sleeping on top of me? Isaka smiles. Well, after you mysteriously left us in the hot springs, I left to go find an apology for acting so brash like that. But when I finally found you, you were already asleep. And when I saw how comfy Ingvold and Urza were, I decided to take part in it. And may I say, your chest is probably even more comfy than my own bed. The firmness of your chest feels just right. And not to mention the heat that you naturally radiate just made me want to snuggle up to you more. Issei sighs. Okay. I can somewhat understand that part. But what about the part about you being naked? Isaka smiles brightly. Oh, it just felt more comfortable sleeping naked on top of you. Issei deadpanned. Isaka giggles. Don't worry. I didn't do anything indecent to you while you were asleep. Issei mind sighs. At least that crisis has been averted for the meantime. Kunu, behind the door, curious Issei-san, are you awake yet? Asked Issei, startled him. It was then Kunu slowly and quietly opened the door to see if Issei was awake so that they could hopefully play a little before he went to train and spar with her Issei-san and Sasuke. But when looked into the room she saw her mother on top of Issei and was mostly naked. Issei seemed this and wanting to preserve Kunu's innocence, as well as not give her wrong idea, he began to panic while trying to explain what was happening. Kunu confused Okuzen. What are you and Issei doing? Issei panics. Kunu, close your eyes. This is not what it looks like, I swear. Seeing this as the perfect opportunity to hopefully convince Issei to be a father figure to Kunu as well as easing her daughter to tell her that Issei will be her new father, she had a sly smirk on her face. Isaka smiles. Kunu, can I ask you something? Kunu curious, what is it, Okuzen? Isaka smiles. If you wanted a little sibling, would you want a little sister or a little brother? Kunu thinking, I think I would want a little brother, confused. But what does that have to do with you being on top of Issei-kun? Isaka smiles. Well, as it so happens, Issei is going to help me give you a little brother. Issei shocked. Issei, mind beyond shocked. What the fuck? Who knew? Excited with stars in her eyes. Really, I'm going to be a 1E-san. Isaka giggles. Yes, you are. As if Issei's luck couldn't get any worse at that moment, Naruto, who was walking by, stopped by to see why his sister was outside Issei's room cheering happily. Naruto curious, what made you all happy and cheerful this early in the morning, Kunu? Kunu smiles happily. Okusen says that I'm going to be 1E-san soon. Naruto confused, really? How looks inside Issei's roommate? When Naruto looked inside Issei's room, he saw his mother mostly naked on top of Issei. Issei, upon seeing Naruto, went completely pale because he knew if anyone saw this scene right now, they would think he was currently having sex with Hisoka. Of course, he panicked more as he tried to explain to Naruto that this wasn't what it looked like. Issei panics. Naruto, I swear to you on my pride as a dragon that this is not what it looks like. I'm just as confused as you are. She snuck into my room while I was sleeping. Naruto sighs in annoyance while pinching his nose. I swear it is too damn early for all this. If you still want to train with me and Sasuke, I suggest you hurry since we start in about 10 minutes. But then, Naruto walked away trying to pretend he just didn't see his adoptive mother naked on top of a guy the same age as him. Issei made a huge sigh of relief that Naruto didn't try to kill him from being in this situation, but felt like that he was going to discreetly take it out on him during training. Isaka just giggled at Issei's reaction since he looked so cute when panicking, but was also a bit proud of her son for overacting since she knew how protective he was of her, especially when he found out about Kunu's biological father and how heartbroken it left her. Isaka giggles. My, that went better than expected. Naruto would have at least tried to kill you. Issei sweat drops. Really? How could you tell? Isaka giggles. You surely are a treat, and no doubt the perfect man to be my husband as well as Kunu's father. They say sweat drops. Yeah. But I didn't agree to, Isaka whispers, smiles. Listen, you don't have to say anything right now, and I don't mind taking things slow, but I would like for you to at least be a good role model for Kunu. Smiles seductively. I also don't mind being one of your mistresses since I know dragons tend to have harems, but since I already technically promised Kunu a little brother, you'll have to take responsibility, beloved. But that Yasaka got up from Issei's chest, exposing her naked body, which Issei quickly closed his eyes to not look like a total perv. But this just made Yasaka even more excited since she could sense that Issei is a bit aroused from just having a glance of her naked body. It was then she picked up and put on a clothing that she placed in the corner of Issei's room and began to walk out with Kunu. Hisaka smiles. I have some things to look over, but once I'm done, I'll go ahead and make breakfast for all of us. See you soon, Issei. Kunu smiles and waves by. Issei-kun. Issei sighs. I swear that my looks are both a blessing and curse. Envold groggy. What do you mean, Issei-san? Urza groggy. But could it wait for a few more minutes? It was then Issei noticed that both Envold and Urza started to wake up from all the noise that was going on. Seeing that they weren't entirely ready to wake up just yet and that he wanted to be alone when he called Riaz, he gently patted both their heads and told them that they could sleep a little bit longer. Issei smiles softly. Nothing, you two can go back to sleep, okay? Ingvild yawns happily. Okay? Snuggles closer to Essie. In that case, I'm just gonna warm up next to you. Okay? Essie-san? Urza yawns happily while doing the same here. Once he felt that both Urza and Ingvild were asleep again, Essie started to slowly wiggle his way out. Urza and Ingvild grasps. But when he tried to get up, he felt something that was holding his leg, sweat dropping in hopes it wasn't who he thought it was under the sheets. Of course, as soon as he removed the covers, he saw that Ghislaine was sleeping peacefully while drooling a bit on Essay's leg, all while being also completely naked. Issei, mind, sweat drops. Yep, both a blessing and a curse. Time skip. 5 minutes later, after Issei was able to quietly slip away from Ingvild, Urza, and Ghislaine, he went into the bathroom in order to freshen up before meeting with Naruto and Sasuke. But he noticed something different about him, notably that the ends of his hair were becoming a silvery white like his grandfather, and his eyes seemed to have gotten lighter in color from his usual hazel-like color to being closer to gold. Issei deduced that these changes must have been the result from his seals slowly breaking down and absorbing demonic energy leaking out from both DSD and Yamato, but decided to not go further into it since he needed to hurry up and call Rias to see everything was alright back in Kwa. Rias phoned, curious. Hello? Issei, are you there? Z sighs in relief. Oh, thanks, Satan, you're okay? When I saw that you called me yesterday, I thought something terrible had happened. Ria's mind smiles. I'm fine. What happened to you? Curious. Why didn't you call me back? Say, serious. Sorry. I was unconscious when you called, so I didn't even notice. Rias. Phone. Worried. You were unconscious. What happened to you? Say, serious. I'm fine. Just got into a very intense fight, which drained me out of all my energy. I won the fight, but the bastard escaped like a coward. Rias phoned, serious. I see. Well, in any case, thank the Mao that you're alright and well. Now care to tell me why you're in Kyoto? Issei shocked. Wait, how do you know about that? Rias phoned, serious. I have my ways. Now answer me, Issei. Why are you in Kyoto when you are supposed to be training? Issei sighs. I was, or to be more precise, still training. Serious. After I finished my training in the mountains, Ddraig suggested that I go to certain places to grab weapons that could be of use to me in the long run, and one of them happened to be in Kyoto. Rias phone, shocked to say. Kyoto belongs to both the Yakai and Shinto factions. If they find out that you're a devil of my peerage and see you as trespassing men, Issei chuckles nervously. Yeah? A little too late for that. I'm afraid. I'm actually staying in the palace of Lady Osaka as we speak. Rias phone, shocked. What? Issei chuckles nervously. Yeah, but don't worry. Both Lady Osaka and Lady Amaterasu were kind enough. Let me stay here so that I could recover. Rias phone, shocked. You met both Lady Osaka and Lady Amaterasu, Issei. Do you have any idea what you could have caused? Issei sighs. That I almost could have caused a huge conflict between the devils and the Shinto, which would have led to war. Rias phone, blinks in surprise. How? Yes, you could have. Issei sighs. Look, I know and trust me. I originally hoped to be in and out of Kyoto without no one noticing. But of course, me being the Red Dragon Emperor, things don't work as intended. Smiles, but don't worry. After I told who I was and why I was here, they completely understood and allowed me to stay worry-free. Took less, I even got a free pass to come to Kyoto anytime I want from both Lady Osaka and Lady Amaterasu. Rias couldn't believe what she just heard. Did her pawn just say that despite going to a different faction's territory, he was able to get away from any form of punishment scot-free and had been granted access to come and go as he pleases? Rias phone, sighs. I see. Honestly, I say, I feel as if your main purpose in life is to give me a headache. Issei chuckles nervously. Sorry about that. Serious. But back to the point at hand. Why did you call me to do something back in Kwa? Rias phone, serious. For the most part, no. Issei, serious. Rias. Rias, mind, blushes. He said my name again. Could this really mean? DragongodAstaroth, mind, sweat drops. Yeah. Something tells me this is really going to be the only time I'm ever going to make Rias a main girl. Because I could already feel the cringe sighs, but like I always say, you gotta toss these weak-ass characters a bone or two once in a while at least. Say, serious Rias, be serious with me. Is everything really okay back at Kwa? If not, just tell me and I'll leave right now. Rias, phone, startled smiles. Yes. Everything is fine, but just curious, when would you be back? Say serious Rias. Rias, phone, smiles. I'm serious, everything is fine. Don't worry. Say sighs. Okay. Fine, I should be back home by tomorrow. Now if there isn't anything else, I'll be going since I promised to do some sparring with some friends I made here. Rias, phone, smiles. No. That is all, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Sighs. Serious. Okay then. As soon as hung up the phone with Rias, he couldn't help but have this sinking suspicion that Rias was lying to him, that everything was alright in Kwa. Issei sighs and disappointment. Rias. Scene change. Training area. After the talk Issei had with Rias, he put on his workout clothes, which consisted of his school gym outfit that he wore during his 3 months of training in the mountains. When he arrived, he saw both Naruto and Sasuke there ready with their own training outfit doing some stretching. As soon as Sasuke spotted Issei entering the area, he grew a battle maniac smirk, since he hoped Issei would come so that he could test himself against him and see how close he was to surpassing his master. But he also couldn't help but snicker since Naruto told him what happened in Issei's room before coming here. Issei smiles. Hey guys. Naruto, serious, so you're here. Sasuke snickers. How did you sleep? Because from what I've heard from Naruto, it is quite something. Issei sighs. So I'm guessing he told you the misunderstanding, like I said to Naruto that nothing happened. Yasaka literally told me that came in while I was sleeping. So by the time I woke up, she was already on top of me. Naruto sighs in annoyance. Looks, it doesn't matter. I could tell from your reaction and scent that you two didn't do anything, and I'm sorry that my mother sprung that on you, but please don't judge her. My mother has been fairly lonely for a while now, and so she can be quick to jump into things whenever she sees a good-looking guy. If it doesn't turn out well, just promise to let her down easy. Sasuke whistle. Wow, look at you, the mama's boy, being a grown-up and letting his mom make her own decisions for once. Naruto. And why, damn it, Sasuke. Here I was trying to be a complete badass, trying to sound cool, and just ruined it. Issei, mind, sweat drops. I guess we have a dragon one way, shape or form, I guess. Dragonid. Hey. Issei, mind, smiles. Ah, Drake, you're awake. How was your nap? Greg huffs in annoyance. Fine. Has a shit-eating grin. So it looks like the fox boy has essentially given you his blessing to bang his mom. Say, mind, sweat drops. Of course, you would make it sound like that. Greg grins. What? Don't tell me it didn't feel nice with her breasts on you last night, and when she was on top of you this morning. Don't act like I didn't notice you were getting a chub when you briefly saw her naked body. Honestly, partner, you have no idea how damn lucky you are about getting all these beautiful women falling for you left and right. If I still had a body, I would have taken these women as soon as I was given the chance. Issei, mind, sweat drops. Okay. Now I starting to think that it was you that turned me into a pervert in the first place somehow. Burrito curious. Hey Issei. Issei startled, smiles sheepishly. Sorry about that. I was lost in thought. Sasuke smirks. Well then, who do you want to spar first? Grabbing his sword. If I'm being honest, I would like to test my sword skills against yours, especially since you should be at a 100% by now. Naruto serious. I actually wanted to test my skills against him in hand-to-hand combat. Issei smiles. How about I spar against you both at the same time? Sasuke curious. And how would you do that? Issei smirks like this dragon clone, but that Issei started glowing a deep crimson color, in which another copy of Issei appeared next to him, which amazed both Sasuke and Naruto. Naruto shocked to Issei. You can use shadow clones. Issei confused. Shadow what now? Sasuke serious. The technique is called Shadow Clone Jutsu. It's a ninjutsu technique, which allows us to sacrifice a portion of our energy to make an almost exact copy of ourselves. Depending how much energy one has can dictate how many clones you can make. Naruto, Syria. So how many clones can you make, Issei? I can make over 100. Issei sweat drops. Damn, I'm pretty sure I can only make 20 at my current state. Sasuke examines Issei's clone. Yeah. But the upside is that your clones are a lot more dense and sturdier than Naruto's clones, meaning they can put up more of a fight than his clones. Naruto's surprised, so it's like quality over quantity. Sasuke smirks exactly. Issei smiles. Well, that's perfect then. I'll have one of my clones spar with one of you, and once our sparring is done, when I disperse the clone, all the knowledge that my clone receives will return to me. Naruto curious. Wait, you can do that with your clones? They say confused. Yeah, have you not done that with your clones before? Ever since I learned this technique, I've been using it to help me improve my techniques and the power behind it. It's part of the reason why I'm this powerful in the first place. This intrigued Naruto greatly because for the longest, he has been using his shadow clones as a way to distract his enemies to have time to dish out a precise hit on his enemies or for reconnaissance purposes. But what just told him just opened a whole world of possibilities for him, which will no doubt help him to surpass Sasuke's level of strength, as well as perfect certain techniques that he has been struggling with. But unknown to Naruto that Sasuke also had the same idea with his shadow. Issei seemed that both of them getting excited about training also got him pumped up, in which he summoned Yamato and got into a stance in front of Sasuke. Issei smirks. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to get this party started. Sasuke smirks while getting into a stance. I thought you never asked. Naruto smirks while getting into a stance. I hope you're good with your fists than you are with swords. Issei, clone smirks. Don't me wrong, I love a good sword as much as the next guy, but nothing beats an old-fashioned fist fight. Time skip 3 hours. 3 hours have passed since Issei, Naruto, and Sasuke started their training session together, and within those 3 hours, their bond has gotten stronger. Issei, through sparring with both Naruto and Sasuke, he was able to understand what was it like to have friends who just didn't talk about boobs and other perverted stuff. Not that he would ditch Matsuda and Motohama, because not only has he known the both of them since middle school, but that he knows beside their perverted nature, they are really good people at heart. But he couldn't deny he enjoyed the nice change of pace for once and felt like he was one of those popular boys that he saw in slice of life anime. But Sasuke, they were able to exchange tips with their swordsmanship and ideas to help them whenever they were in a tight jam. When Issei found out that Sasuke had an affinity for lighting magic, he offered some ideas to Sasuke to utilize his lighting, which Sasuke took to heart and was intrigued in some of the ideas that Issei suggested. While sparring with Sasuke, he was able to grasp the basics of using the Yamato and some of its abilities, like opening a portal to wherever he desires. Issei had to admit that Sasuke was a far superior to when it came to swordsmanship compared to Kiba, and would no doubt mop the floor with him if they ever sparred. Sparring with Naruto was a treat all its own, since it was finally nice to spar with someone else besides Natsu to when it came to hand, and had to admit was quite skilled. And he thought before Natsu, Kaneko was the best hand-to-hand fighter that he ever met. But now he could say that Naruto surpassed her in that category, especially in his use of Taki. Naruto was kind enough to show the basics of Senjutsu so he could start learning how to use Taki, and much to Naruto's surprise, Issei was picking up the concept fairly quickly, in which Issei told him it felt similar to how he focuses his demonic energy on his arm to show off his devil bringer, or when using his draconic energy to show off his horns and tail, as well teaching him some of the basics of Naruto's fighting, which was actually taijutsu. Currently, all three were on their asses sweating with parts of their clothing tattered up. But everyone couldn't but have huge smiles on there, since that was probably sparring session that any of them ever had. Issei panting, well, I gotta say you guys are definitely on a different level. Sasa panting, don't count yourself out now. I hardly doubt me or Naruto made even a dent in you. Naruto panting, Sasa's right. Hell, either of us could make you pull out your boosted gear. Honestly, Issei, you're one heck of a monster. Issei chuckles now, don't downplay your abilities, guys. Honestly, I don't think I ever pushed my base form to this level before. Honestly, I'm seriously impressed. If I wasn't in my master's peerage, then no doubt you two alone can body them. Naruto curious, do you guys not train or anything? Sasuke curious, I would think if your master was able to reincarnate someone like you, she would also be a monster in her own right. Issei sighs in disappointment, sadly, no, don't get me wrong, she's a good master and kind as she could be, but she's weak, for fuck's sake. In just 3 months, I was to get strong enough to almost contend with the top 10 strongest beings in existence. But knowing her, she has probably just gone on with her day as normal and thinks she can handle anything that life throws at her. Naruto serious. Geez, she sounds pretty spoiled if you asked me. Sasuke serious and arrogant, which is no surprise given that she is a pure-blooded devil, so it's almost natural for her to act that way. Sorry if we were being rude since Naruto told me that you have feelings for her and all. Issei nods. No, don't apologize because you're right, and a part of her must believe that just because she has the Red Dragon Emperor in her peerage, that she could take on the whole world. But she needs to realize that I'm not always gonna be there to save her. And plus, I have my own plans to be a high-class devil myself. That's why when I get back to Kwa, I'm going to whip my peerage members into shape because they can't just solely rely on me to get them out of their situations, especially when I strike out on my own and have my own peerage. Naruto serious, and what if they don't take it seriously, and just blindly keep on relying on you for your power? Issei, serious simple. I'll just remove my evil pieces and leave her peerage. Sasso, curious how would you do that? From what I've heard, the only way you can get your evil pieces removed is if you have one of the Devil Kings removed, or else forcefully removing them would cause almost instant death. Issei smirks, well, it's a good thing I have a skeleton key of sorts just in case if the need ever arises. Naruto Sasuke curious, what do you mean? Issei shows off Yamato with this. Sasuke confused, Yamato? Issei smirks, that's right, because you see Sasuke while we were sparring. I was talking with my predecessor through a mental link about the abilities that Yamato possesses. While the Yamato has the power to slice through space and time as well as being able to seal or unlock seals or gateways, it also has another power that only so far only Virgil Sparta has done. Naruto curious, and that power is Issei smirks. It has the power to separate man from devil, in which if I were to focus Yamato on where my chess pieces are located, I can safely remove them without having any backlash on either my body or my soul. Sasuke confused. But how would you be able to use Yamato or DSD without the demonic energy that your evil pieces are giving you? Issei smirks. Excellent question, Sasuke. Can you see, even though I won't be a member of Ria's peerage, I'll still be at least part devil, since not only did my predecessor pour a little bit of his own demonic power into me, so I can use Yamato and DSD to its fullest, but also from what I've been told, I've been constantly absorbing demonic energy that the swords radiate even now as we speak. The beauty of all this would be that I wouldn't be considered a stray since I don't have my evil pieces inside of me, so the devils can't hang me or put me on trial for it. After Issei explained his backup plan if Rios or his peerage members don't take their training seriously and take into consideration that they shouldn't just rely on him to get them out of situations, they couldn't help but laugh at how sneaky Issei was. Naruto laughs, damn Issei, and I thought the pranks I pulled off as a kid were evil. Sasuke laughs, honestly it's like you were born to be a devil. Issei chuckles, thanks, but I'm hoping that it doesn't come because I do love her. But I will do it if it means she'll take her role as king more seriously. Sasuke smirks, if I like you, Issei, you're an alright guy. You're not afraid to accept the truth when it's right in front of you, no matter how harsh or cruel it may be. But you care deeply for your friends and loved ones, which I can respect, and if I'm being honest, if I ever decided to be a reincarnated devil, I would want you as my master. Naruto smirks, same here. Unlike most devil masters who would no doubt hold back their members so they could keep them on a leash or in fear that they'll surpass them in power, you want each of your members to surpass their limits and become the strongest version of themselves, which will no doubt inspire true loyalty. No doubt if I was in a situation where I needed to be reincarnated, I would want you to be my master. Issei smiles warmly. Thanks, Naruto Sasuke. That means a lot more to me than you realize, and you're right. I want the members of my peerage to be strong, and if they want to rise up the ranks to become high-class devils themselves, I will not stop them, and I will support them however I can. As the three boys were bonding about what they just talked about, Yasaka came into the area with another girl, letting them know that breakfast was ready. The other person was a slender girl of fair complexion, whose most distinguishing trait is her wide eyes. She has dark blue hair that reaches her lower back, and the framing strands reach shoulder length. She wore a lavender and cream hooded jacket with lavender cuffs over mesh armor. She also wears navy blue pants, black, low-heeled sandals. She gave off the aura of shy and timid girls similar to both Asia and Envold, but one thing was for certain: she was completely locking eyes on Naruto, and the boy couldn't help blush a little at the sight of her, which Issei connected the dots and figured that they like each other very much. Isaka smiles. Naruto, Sasuke, Issei-kun. Breakfast is almost done, so hurry up and wash all that sweat and join us for dinner. Blushes while smiling timidly. Hello, Naruto-kun. Naruto smiles while blushing a bit. Hello, Hinata, it's been a while. I see you came back from your mission. Hinata smiles. Yes. I just got back just an hour ago, and I wanted to see how you were doing. Naruto smiles. I'm doing great, and I'm glad to see you're doing great as well. Issei whispers. Curious. Hey Sasuke. Is it just me, or do those two have a total lover's vibe? Sasuke whispers, smirks. That's Hinata Hyuga, and she's from the Hyuga, which is a huge shinobi clan that serve the Shinto gods, and she's also the heiress of said clan. Her and Naruto have had a huge crush on each other since they were kids, but none of them will make the first move. Issei whisper, surprised. Oh, I see, total junior high prom situation here. Naruto annoyed. You know, I can hear you too. Right. Issei panicked. Sorry, not sorry. Scene change. Osaka Palace, Hot Springs. Currently, we see Issei, Naruto, and Sasuke washing themselves in the hot springs to get rid of the sweat they had from sparring. While they were bathing, Issei noticed how Naruto looked a bit nervous, which he guessed was because of Hinata. He decided to talk to the young fox in hopes he can hopefully ease his nervousness as well as help him get closer to Hinata and make their relationship official. They say, serious Naruto, dude, are you alright? Naruto, startled, smiles nervously. Yeah, I'm fine, just spaced out is all. They say, curious, so you have a thing for Hinata, right? So why haven't you tried making the first move yet? Naruto, serious, it's complicated. Issei, curious, how so? I mean, it's obvious that you like each other, so why not make it official? Naruto sighs because her clan won't approve of our relationship. Issei, curious, Sasuke sat in him. Naruto, serious. You see, Issei, the Hyuga are some ways similar to devils in that they care about purity, and if they find out that the heiress of the Hyoudou clan mated with someone that they didn't approve of, let alone a fox demon like myself, then all hell will break loose. Even though Hinata has a sister, the clan still want her to marry someone who they approve of, and since I'm a descendant of Kurama, there's no way that they'll allow me to be with her. Issei sighs, I see. I guess you and I are in the same boat. Naruto, confused, what do you mean? Say, serious, just like you, I love someone who I can't entirely be with due to customs. Even though the feelings between me and Riaz are obvious, there is no way I can be with her due to the Devil Council's influence over her and her family. Naruto, confused, but you're the Red Dragon Emperor. I would think any female devil would temporarily throw away her pride in order to help give birth to the next heavenly dragon, since it would help bolster the devil's military might. The Sei raises an eyebrow, and you're the descendant of the fox demon that almost literally took out the entire Shinto pantheon. I'm more surprised that every kitsune besides your mom and your sister haven't lined up to be your wife or concubine. Naruto blushes nervously. Well, there have been a few, but both me and my mom saw through them and that they just wanted me for my power. Issei sighs, I see. Well, I guess that's another thing we'll have in common, since no doubt as soon as return to Kwa, and when the devils find out about my increase, they'll no doubt some of the nobles will try to hook me up with one of their daughters so that they can have the child of Red Dragon Emperor in their bloodline. Naruto, saddened you, but unlike me, you have the option to deny them, and you have a chance to be with Rias once you achieve high-class status. Well, I'll never be truly accepted in the Shinto faction because of what my ancestor did all those years ago. Trust me, Any sane woman wouldn't want to be the mother of the descendant of Kurama, let alone the Hyoudou clan, since that's more or less equivalent to giving birth to the son of Satan. The Issei raises an eyebrow. Okay. Serious. But Naruto, you can't let what your ancestor did dictate how your life is going to be in the future. Look, I understand that you're afraid of your power. Trust me, a part of me is the same way, since there could be a slight chance that I can go insane. But I'm not gonna let that stop me from reaching my goals. And you shouldn't let that stop you from reaching yours as well. Gerudo sat in. I understand. But every time I use my ancestor's power, I feel so much rage and hatred that I want to destroy everything around me. And I tried to resist it, but it keeps on getting stronger. The last time I tried to control it was in the past with the help of my sensei. But I ended up destroying a whole city block and almost went on a rampage. Issei thinking maybe that's the problem. Naruto curious, what do you mean? Sasuke curious some? Issei serious, maybe you shouldn't resist the rage and hatred and learn to accept it. Naruto shocked, are you insane? If I did that I would start where my ancestor left off. Issei serious, Naruto, you said it yourself, every time you try to resist this power, it fights back, right? So what if next time you try to accept the rage and hatred that comes with your power? Naruto saddened him. Issei's eyes concerned, Naruto, you can't just keep denying this part of you. Sooner or later, you're going to have to face this side of yourself whether you like it or not. Naruto saddened, I know, but this power is so frightening sometimes, so much so that it keeps me up at night. I don't want to rely on my ancestors' power to become stronger. They say, size, you idiot. Naruto confused, they say, serious, it's not his power, it's yours and only you can control it, Naruto. Sasuke sighs, finally, someone else said it. Naruto confused, Sasuke serious? Do you have any idea how many times I tried to tell this idiot that he needs to learn to accept his other half only for him to ignore me? Naruto surprised, Sasuke. Sasuke serious? You are my rival, Naruto, and the only person that I see as an equal, but give me a challenge. So the fact that you won't activate your full power just because you're scared of something because some old fox did a few centuries ago is honestly an insult to our rivalry. Issei shrugs, he does have a point. I mean, I'll have no choice but to go all out when the time comes for me to fight my fated rival, the White Dragon Emperor or Empress, which I recently found out. But in any case, Sasuke is right, Naruto. You really can't be afraid to unleash your true power just because of what your ancestor did. Like I said, it's your power, not his. Smiles, I know you still have some doubts, but please take what we said into consideration. Naruto, serious, I'll try. Issei smiles, it's a leap of faith, Naruto, that's all it is. Smiles happily now to help you get with Hinata. Naruto blushes out of embarrassment. What boo, but I already said that her clan won't let her be with me. Issei grins, well, like you said, they're like devils who care about purity, right? So I would also guess they also respect power as well, so the sooner you learn how to control that power of yours and show everyone that you're not evil, then eventually even they have to acknowledge you. Naruto curious, do you really think that could work? Issei grins, only one way to find out, right? If that doesn't work, then I'll help you. Just take her, and you two can live happily ever after. Naruto shocked, you can't do that. You'll have the entire Hyuga clan after you. Issei smirks, well, love makes you do crazy things sometimes. Naruto saddened, but still, what if even after all that they still don't accept me? Issei grins while pointing to himself, then I got your back. Naruto confused, you do? Issei grins, hell yeah, you're a good person with a good heart, Naruto, and I can tell you truly love Hinata. Even if the whole world is against, I got your back, Naruto. And I don't care what anyone says, not even the devil faction will stop me from helping you. Sasuke smirks, I got your back as well, Naruto. Naruto shocked, you too, Sasuke. Sasuke smirks, that's right. Because if anyone has the right to take you down, it's going to be me. I refuse to let you die or lose to anyone else besides me. Naruto's sweat drops, thanks, Asuke. Though I don't know how I feel about the whole not letting me die unless it's from your hands. Issei laughs. I think it's just his special way of saying that he cares and he got your back if you're ever in trouble. Naruto's sweat drops, right. Issei chuckles. Well, come when I think we've been in here for a while now, and I'm pretty sure I promised Urza and Ingold that I would take them around Kyoto before we head back to Kwa tomorrow. Naruto. Sasuke nods right. Time skip. Next day. Isaka's palace entrance. 5:45 p.m. It's been a day since Issei had that talk with Naruto about learning to accept himself and be more forward to try to have an actual relationship with Hinata. Since then, it has been, for lack of a better word in Issei's opinion, during breakfast when Issei discussed with Urza and Envold about their plans exploring Kyoto. Yasaka and Kunu were insistent on coming with them for completely different reasons. Throughout the day, Issei, Ingvild, Urza, Yasaka, Kunu, Leonardo, Ghislaine, Sasuke, and Naruto toured all around Kyoto. Though in reality, this was mostly a way for Yasaka and Ghislaine to get closer to Issei, much to Ingvild and slightly Urza's annoyance. Throughout the trip, Kunu would always hold Issei's hand and refuse to let go, even going as far as defying her own mother, in which Issei couldn't help but find it adorable, but still reprimanded Kunu for not listening to her mother, in which she listened. Whenever it was just Issei, Kunu, and Yusaku, people would mistake them for a loving family, and that Yasaka was one lucky woman to score a husband like Issei, which caused the nine-tailed fox giggle and delight, knowing that other people think Issei is good father for her Kunu. All the while, the young Red Dragon Emperor couldn't help but sweat drop and cringe a bit, since he was still 17 years old, and the thought about having a kid of his own was something he didn't want to think about for at least another year or two. Though, of course, Yasaka decided to play one last slight trick on Issei before he left, in which he got him and Naruto to take a family together with her and Kunu, which caused Kunu to start calling Issei Papa, which shocked both Issei and Naruto. While Yasaka would smile and giggle in delight that Kunu was starting to see Issei as a father figure, Issei would try to convince Kunu to not call him Papa since he wasn't married to her mother or anything like that. But Kunu would get all teary eyes, and Issei couldn't help but not see her sad and reluctantly accepted his new title. At night, Amaterasu would visit Issei to see how he was doing and would get very close to him, much to Yusaku's annoyance, which made Issei's sweat drop the situations he unknowingly got himself into. Issei also did take a few minutes with Leonardo and asked him to confirm on what he wanted to do, if he wanted to still come with him, or would return to the hero faction, in which Leonardo decided that he wanted to go with Issei, since not only did he wanted to see how the grandson of the Guardian of Humanity goes forward, but also he found Issei and his group very interesting and started to see that maybe that other races are not as evil as Cao may think. The next day, Issei as well as Urza joined Naruto and Sasuke in their early morning training sparring sessions, in which Issei was able to gain a better grasp on Senjutsu as well as Taijutsu, but still had a long ways to go before mastering it. Urza being able how to use Gram and Baoming, in which Ghislaine was happy enough to give her a few pointers and tips on swordplay, and much Ghislaine surprised Urza was natural on using blades. She even thought Urza would no doubt surpass her in no time as long as she keeps on training. Currently, we see Issei, Envold, Urza, and Leonardo at the entrance of Isaka's palace with a magic circle behind them, since it was time for them to go home back to Kwa, which saddened Kunu a bit since her papa was leaving her. As a gift, Yasaka asked one of the tailors on Ghislaine's request, a purple revealing kimono. It consists of a short, sleeveless tunic decorated by many flower motifs with a revealing cleavage and revealing opening on the sides, exposing much of Urza's chest, held close by both a large dark obi, which has a thin red rope tied around it, and sports a wide closing ribbon on the back, and by a lighter, smaller white belt, which are both wrapped around a pink flower patterned cloth circling Urza's waist on the back and the sides. Since she thought that Urza would need something to wear when going into battle, Urza thanked gracefully for the gift and honestly couldn't wait to try it out in battle. Issei smiles. Well, it's time for us to go home. Bose, thank you for being so kind and for letting us stay here in your humble home. Ingvild. Bose, yes, thank you so much for your hospitality. Urza. Bose, and thank you for this gift you gave me, and I promise to wear it with pride. Leonardo. Stoic, thank you for not trying to kill me. Isaka smiles. You are most certainly welcome, and all of you are always welcome back. Smiles seductively, especially you, Ice Kun. Issei smiles nervously. Thank you for your kind offer. Kunu saddened while pouting. Do you really have to leave, Papa? Issei smiles sadly. I'm sorry, Kunu, but I need to go. I have other people that need me back home, but I promise to see you whenever I can. Okay? Kuna pouts. You promise? Issei chuckles, pinky promise. Naruto smirks. I hope to see you soon, Issei. Sasuke smirks, same here because trust me, the next time you see us, we'll make you use your full power. Issei grins, and I'll be waiting for that day to come. But that the three boys made a fist bump to each other to promise to keep on getting stronger and surpassing their limits. As Lane grins, those boys are not the only ones that you need to promise for a fight because next time we're going all out straight from the start. Issei smirks, I'll be looking for it and Lady Isaka. Isaka curious, yes. Issei smirks, I may not come here as a devil pawn of Rias Gremory, but I know that if you or the Yakai faction need help, don't hesitate to call me and I'll show up as the Red Dragon Emperor. Isaka, mind, smiles just like his grandfather. Isaka smiles, thank you, Issei. I will keep that in mind. But that being said, all of them saying their goodbyes, Issei and his group entered the magic circle and disappeared in a particle of light. Yusaka, seeing her daughter still a bit down the person who she started as her father after only getting to know him for only a day, decided to hatch an idea and turn to her son and Sasuke. Isaka smiles, Naruto Sasuke. Naruto Sasuke serious, yes, Mother Lady Isaka. Isaka smiles, how would you two feel about going to high school? Scene change. Go Town, Hyoudou residence 6:00 p.m. It had been a little bit over a month since the son of Miki and Goro Hyoudou Issei had left to go on a mountain training regimen, all while trying to reduce his pervertedness. At first they were happy that their son was hopefully not perverted anymore, even though they loved their son with all their hearts. But then happiness then turned into worry since they knew Issei activated his boosted gear as well as become a devil, even though they have no idea why their son became a devil in the first place. They thought Issei somehow broke the seals that they placed on him when he was a child, but they sensed that the seal was still in place. But still, the couple feared if their son were to somehow break his seals while away and that an even bigger target on his back because of who he really is and who he's related to on top of being the Red Dragon Emperor. They wanted to tell their son the truth of who he really is when they saw he became a devil, but they didn't know how to tell him. Or maybe they just hoped since he was with the devils and just stay being a low-class devil, then he wouldn't attract anyone, and those people would just ignore him. But when they saw the determination in their son's eyes, the determination to become stronger filled with them with dread, and that they knew when he came back that they would have to explain to him of who they really are. Currently, the mother of Issei Miki Hyoudou was serving tea to a woman who is actually an old friend of hers, who stopped by to check on both her and her husband Gaoru. The woman had long bushy jet black hair. She has a complexion that is significantly lighter, and slight age lines are under her eyes. Her hair is tied by a red bandana and loosely done up in a ponytail with the ends resembling curved black feathers. A cowlick can be seen protruding from the top of her head, with her eyes being that of a deep crimson red. Insisted of a V-neck black and red wrap-style top with a black pleated skirt that has black shorts underneath with a series of beaded necklaces. She also wears a red obi sash around her waist alongside a red tassel wrapped around her waist that carries her weapon sheath. Attached to it is a long black object that is either fur or feathers with a red and white bandana material hanging from behind her. Her forearms bear red armored gauntlets that protrude outwards and black fingerless gloves. She wore black mid-thigh-high boots that had armor plating with red splatter patterns and black heels. Smiles. Thank you, Mickey sips tea. It truly has been a while, hasn't it? Mickey smiles. It truly has. Raven. I'm so glad that you've stopped by. Smiles nervously though. I wish it was under better circumstances like with Kakabeel trying to use the fragments of Excalibur to destroy the town and start another great war. Raven giggles, yes, and I'm sorry for that. To be honest, I truly wanted to come by more often and see my nephew, but sighs an annoyance. That idiot of an ex-husband of mine is so lazy to nip this in the bud when he should have, he essentially allowed this to happen. I swear he's been neglecting his duties so much that essentially it's been up to me and Shimeshai to keep the Grigori running smoothly, and I've been too busy to see what's been happening. Now he's relying on a bunch of devil brats who haven't been in a real fight in their lives to take care of it. For him, at least, Vali is there, and she can take care of Kokabeel. No problem. Make you concerned how is Vali? I know that what we did must have broken both her and Albedo's heart quite deeply since they were both very fond of Issei. Raven sighs. They're fine, especially after a while they realized that what you were doing for Issei was for his safety. Since then, Vali has been constantly training in order to become the strongest white dragon empress in existence in hopes she could protect ice as well as keep the promise they made when they were kids. Albedo smiles. Weakly though she has gotten better, she still tends to have an outburst for the fact she's not allowed to see her adorable little brother again. Mickey smiles weakly. I see. Gore is serious. Well, at least they know that if there was another way to alter the seal on his memories, then we did so. But we couldn't risk altering since it would no doubt completely break the seal. Brave and serious Goro, we all knew what we had to do in order to keep Issei safe. Even Drake knew that this was the best course of action. There was no way we could predict the side effects that the seals would have on them. Gore saddened, but still, I didn't want to rip their friendship with my son out of the fear of him being considered a threat to the entire supernatural world. Brave and sighs though, I would admit that both your guys' family power is definitely something fierce and to be worried of, hence, I understand why you had to go into hiding in the first place. The fact that Issei was born with the capacity with those abilities on top of being the Red Dragon Emperor has no doubt in the leader's perspective, a major nuclear bomb waiting to happen and would either need to be taken out or put on a leash. Curious, speaking of which, looks around, where is Issei? Mickey said, and he's not here. Raven, confused, what's wrong? Did something happen to him? Mickey said, and Issei has become a devil. Raven shocked, what? Concerned, what do you mean Issei became a devil? Don't tell me that he's out there fighting Kekabio right now. Mickey serious? No, he's not. He left Kwa in order to go train to become stronger about a month ago, and how he became a devil we don't know. Or is serious we assumed that Rios confronted him with an offer and accepted it since he was the Red Dragon Emperor. Raven face palms, are you fucking kidding me? Out of the two people he could choose to serve, he chose the spoiled princess of the Gremry family. I would have been somewhat alright if it was the Citri heiress since from what I could tell, unlike her sister, she has a real handle on things. Annoyed, I bet she used her body to convince Issei to join her arc. Honestly, I still hate the fact that my idiot ex-husband and my brother was what caused him to become a complete pervert in the first place. If it was the old Ice, he would have told both of those spoiled bitches to fuck off and take a hike. Sighs, but I'm glad that my nephew is at least out of harm's way and is trying to become stronger. Mickey sighs sadly. Still though, we were really hoping that his Issei wouldn't be thrusted into the supernatural this soon. I was really hoping to maybe wait until he graduated from high school so that we could tell him, but or is serious. But with him being the Red Dragon Emperor, fate has a twisted way of doing things. Raven curious, have you two told him the truth yet? Mickey nods, no, we were planning on telling him when he came back, but a part of us is afraid that he'll hate us on why we had to seal away his abilities and memories. Raven smiles warmly, Mickey, I've known since the day he was born. And he is not the type to hold a grudge, especially from you two. I think you and I both once you explain why we did, what did he would understand. Mickey said, and I hope so Raven, because after having 2 miscarriages, sheds a tear. I don't know what I would do if my Issei begins to resent me. Raven smiles, everything will be fine. And if not as his godmother, it is my job to knock some sense into him. They say, curious mom, dad, I'm home, and I brought guests. Bore Mickey Raven surprised. As soon as they turned towards the entrance of the kitchen, they saw a young handsome man with long spiky brown hair with the tips of it being silvery white and hazel eyes almost being gold. The boy wore a red t-shirt with a black jacket on top. He had black jeans with matching combat boots. Behind him the boy were 3 people with 2 of them being females, and the last one being a young boy, who seemed to be 2 years younger than the others. This was of course Issei Hyoudou, who just came back from a month-long training session, and behind him were Ingvild, Urza and Leonardo. But Mickey could tell from her motherly instincts that despite looking completely different knew that the boy in front of her was no doubt her baby boy who had finally come home. All the while both Goro noticed something different with Issei, with Goro seeing Issei's hair which made him believe that the seal is starting to break while Raven couldn't the amount of power he was naturally releasing which already outmatched her. But she also couldn't help but blush at how handsome her nephew had become since the last time she saw him. Raven, mind, blushes. The amount of power he's giving off is amazing. Gauru, mind, concerned, oh no. The seal is already starting to break, sighs, I guess it was truly inevitable. Mickey, shocked eyes, is that really you? Issei smiles, it's Mom and I'm home. Mickey, getting teary-eyed, my baby is finally home. It was then Mickey leaked onto Issei, giving him a huge bear hug while crying and rubbing snot all over his shirt. And of course, Issei had no choice but to let it slide since he could. That he must have really worried his mother while he was gone. Issei smiles, yes, I'm home, Mom. But of course, that tender was soon ruined when Mickey started to slap Issei's face left and right out of frustration for making worry so much. Mickey crying while frustrated, you idiot. Why didn't you call us? Do you have any idea how much you made me and your father worry? As in pain, ouch, I'm ouch, sorry, ouch, Mom, it must have ouch, slipped my mind. But Mickey finally stopped smacking Azin around. His face was a little bit red with his mother's handprints. Everyone else couldn't help but sweat drop at the scene at what they saw before them, since as far as they knew, Issei was the most powerful person that they knew, and he was just slapped around like a piece of meat by his own mother. Issei in pain while rubbing his cheeks. Oh. Vicky sheds while puffing her cheeks. Why didn't you call us while you were gone? We got so worried. Issei sighs sadly, I'm sorry, Mom, Dad, I was just so caught up in my training that I completely forgot. I truly didn't mean to make you worry so much. It was then Mickey gave Issei a tight hug while still sniffling because of how scared she was of possibly losing her only child. Mickey sniffles, do you have any idea how much you scared me while you were gone? How many nights you've spent staying wide awake because I feared something bad had happened to you? Issei sat in while hugging her back. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to make you and Dad worry so much. Mickey sniffles, just promise that you won't scare me like that again. Okay? Issei, serious. I promise, Mom. You have my word. Once Issei saw that his mother had finally calmed down, he looked over to the other person that was in his home, in which he couldn't help but smile with joy since it had been so long since he saw her. Essie smiles with joy. Auntie Raven. It was then Essie leaped over to Raven and gave her a huge hug, in which Raven couldn't help but chuckle and hug her dear nephew since it had been too long since they saw each other. Raven chuckles. It's truly been a while, hasn't it, Ice? Smiles. Have you gotten tall since the last time I saw you? Essie smiles. Happily. I truly missed you, Auntie Raven, as well as Uncle Oz and Uncle Crow. Raven smiles. And we have missed you too, Eyes. Essie smiles. So I just have one question, Auntie Raven. Serious. How long have you been a fallen angel? Raven shocked. Everyone was surprised that Essie was able to tell that Raven was actually a fallen angel, especially since Raven was trying to hide her presence since Wild, who was a half-devil, was in the room. But I guess she didn't take into account that her nephew could figure her out, especially now that she has gotten a better look at his say that he has become essentially half-dragon along with half-devil. Raven sighs, I guess I shouldn't have underestimated you, especially since you are your mother's son. Mickey confused Raven, what are you talking about? Raven serious, take another look at your son, Mickey. Mickey confused, looks at Issei before being shocked. I see sad, and so you gave Ddraig half of your body, didn't you? Issei serious, yes. And given that you know who Ddraig is, I'm also guessing that you both knew I was the wielder of the boosted gear when I was born. Dora Mickey Satin, yes. To say serious, Mom? Mickey Satin, yes, Ice. To say serious, you told me that Auntie Raven was actually a really good friend of yours before you made her my godmother. So I want to know, how long exactly have you known that she was a fallen angel? Mickey serious, I've known Raven for a really long time. Issei and I knew she was a fallen angel since day one. Confused, but why are you so defensive about Raven being a fallen angel? Issei serious? Are Uncle Oz and Uncle Crow fallen angels as well? Raven concerned Issei. What is going on? Why are you acting so different about me being a fallen angel? It was the Raven who tried to reach her hand out towards Issei, only for Issei to flinch and back away, which shocked everyone in the room since at least Mickey and Gore knew that Issei was exceptionally close to Raven. So to see him actually back away like that from Raven was quite shocking and actually hurt Raven a bit emotionally that her own nephew was essentially afraid of her. They say sad and I'm sorry, Auntie Raven, but after my first encounter with a fallen angel, I'm a bit weary of them. Smiles weakly man, even though a part of me has forgiven her, I still can't help being cautious around fallen angels. Raven confused, what do you mean you're weary about fallen angels? Boru. Curious, and who was this fallen angel that you first encountered? Mickey. Raven. Confused. Raven, confused. What are you saying, Goru? Boru. Serious. I'm saying that since the seals on his memories are still intact, it means that he unknowingly met another fallen angel before now. If I had to guess, it had to be the reason why Issei is now a devil. I say, mine, curious my memories. I say, serious, do you guys remember when I said about a bit over a month ago, I got a date? Raven surprised you went on a date. Naki confused, yes, about the night before he became a devil, he told us he was going on a date with a girl that he horrified ice. Please don't tell me, Issei said in him. Goro annoyed, it's just as I thought. It was then Goro took out his cell phone and started dialing a number. Guru serious, hey, it's me. Get over here and now don't argue. Just get over here now, damn it. It wasn't a few seconds later a green magic circle appeared in the living room, and out came a tall man appearing to be in his 20s with an average build, black hair, golden bangs and black goatee. He wore a V-neck maroon long coat with a wide, open high collar that opened up at the hem. The long coat also featured 2 black belts around the waist and 4 black bands on each arm, 2 of the bands at the wrist and the other 2 near the elbow. He wore gray slacks and brown shoes. Issei was surprised since he didn't expect to see him here, and after sensing his aura, it confirmed his suspicions that his godparents were actually fallen angels. Issei shocked Uncle Oz, smiles, hey kiddo, it's been a while. How's it going? Before the man could finish, Goro punched the man in the jaw, which knocked him to the floor. Shocked what was that for Goro? Goro angry why the hell were the rogue fallen angels you told us about after my son? Issei surprised, wait you two knew about Rainer and her friends. Mickey serious, yes, but you were supposed to be completely off their list, and I'm pretty sure the order was to only observe for any potential sacred gear possessors. Raven, confused, I don't understand, what does one of Azazel's simps have to do with this? Or annoyed, isn't it obvious, Raven? Whoever this Rain or girl was somehow able to find out that Issei had the boosted gear and decided to pretend to like my son and go on a date with him only to kill him since his sacred gear was probably considered a threat to them. Am I right, Issei? Issei saddened, yes, it's true. When our date came to an end, she revealed herself to be a fallen angel, and she killed me with a light spear and said that I was considered a threat to them, and that she took the initiative and decided to kill me, and I should blame God for placing the sacred gear inside me. It wasn't till a little while Riaz came and revived me as her pawn, which in turn saved my life. Upon hearing how Issei became a devil in the first place, both Raven and Mickey's aura exploded in absolute fury, which caused Ingvald, Urza, and Leonardo to get on their knees. Both women were absolutely furious and heartbroken from what happened to their son-nephew for some lowly fallen angel trash to play with Issei's heart only to kill him while being heartbroken. It was then Raven grabbed her katana and marched over to Azazel, and placing the blade on his throat while glaring daggers at him, promising a very painful death. Brave and furious, what the hell, Azazel? Azazel panics, look, I promised that I didn't know what happened to Issei until it was too late, I swear. That's when I heard that Rias Gremry asked if the fallen angels here in Kwa. I immediately gave them the okay to kill them. Brave and furious, that's not it, Azazel. You were here in Kwa and you should have done something about it before those rogues went after Azazel and Lloyd. Like I said, I didn't know what happened to Azazel until after it was too late. You don't think I didn't feel awful when the news reached me? My own godsend killed by one of my own people has gone rogue and is now forced to be a slave to a devil princess. I had half a mind to march down to Sergic's office and demand that his sister release him. Boris serious. But how did they find out about Issei having a sacred gear, Azazel? We tried placing every seal that we could think of so that no one could sense Issei having the boosted gear. Azazel sighs in annoyance. Goro, you and I both knew that those seals weren't gonna last forever given who he is. It's possible that a small crack appeared which was enough for other supernatural beings to start to take notice. The crack must have been so small that none of them would have noticed, and when he became a devil, the crack started to spread. Now I can feel the seal essentially about to burst wide open. Issei, Ddraig, serious enough. Everyone stepped out of their stupor when both Ddraig and Issei are ordered with both power and dominance. Serious look before we start chopping heads. I want to know what are you guys talking about. I know that I have a seal inside of me because of you guys, but what about this? My memory is being sealed as well and about what I am. Brave Serious. I would also like to know since ever since the seal appeared, I've been receiving memories that I don't remember, and one of them was that Issei actually unlocked when he was only child. Bora's surprised to say, how do you know about the seal? They say, Serious Grandpa Shiro told me that only you and Mom could unlock it. Bora confused, that's impossible, your grandfather died years ago. They say, nervous, well, he's not entirely dead. Dad places his hand on his chest. Bora confused, I'm confused. What do you mean? His eyes widen in realization. Avalon, of course, a piece of his soul is still in there, isn't it? Issei nods yes, and I spoke, and he told me that our family has known about the supernatural for generations, and that part of my real full name is Tasaka Emiya. He was also called the Guardian of Justice, and he was probably the strongest human that ever lived to the point he reached the top 10 strongest beings in existence. Sir, so please Mom and Dad, can you please explain to me who or what I am? Both Mickey and Gora looked at each other with conflicted expressions on their faces on whether they should tell their son the truth about them. Gora sighed, sadly, Mickey, it's time. Mickey saddened, I know, but I wished it would have been a bit longer before we had to tell him. Gora saddened, I know, but we have no other choice. Mickey saddened, I know, looks at Issei, eyes, please sit down. It was then Issei and his group sat on one couch, and his parents sat on the other couch with Azazel and Raven sitting on the chair sitting opposite from one another. Gora sighs, what your grandfather said is true, Issei. Our family has known about the supernatural for generations. As you know, my real name is not Goro Hyoudou, but actually Goro Tasaka Emiya, and my father was Shiro Yumiya, the hero of justice, as well as the guardian of humanity. My mother was Rin Tasaka from the prestigious mage family known as the Tasaka, who are considered to this day one of the most powerful mage families in the supernatural due to our high quality of jewel mage craft, to the point that the current devil king Ajuka Beelzebub asked our great ancestor Nagato on his expertise to help create the evil pieces. This shocked Assi into thinking that his ancestor had a hand in helping create the evil piece system. Greg, serious. Ah, yes. I believe one of my previous hosts met your ancestor in the past. And if I remember correctly that there was a rumor that the Tasaka family are actually long-distant relatives of Ishtar, the Mesopotamian goddess of beauty, good harvest, war, lust, discord, and fertility. They say shocked, wait, am I actually a long-distant relative of a goddess? Burry chuckles, I can't say for sure since either my mother or my great-grandfather could find any definitive proof. But there has been some strong evidence that we could have a connection with a goddess, so it's possible. Say serious, oh, I'm part of a mage family. That would explain when I finally started to learn actual new spells. I can pick them up fairly quickly now, whereas before I could only make a tiny light appear. Looks to Mickey. So what about you, Mom? Mickey coughs nervously. Okay, be ready, I say, because my family is a bit complicated to explain. Do you know anything about the dragon slayers? Issei smiles. Yeah. Shows tattoo. I'm actually a fire dragon slayer. Mickey, Azazel, and Raven were completely shocked when they saw the dragon tattoo on Issei's forearm since they knew only one person in history had that exact same tattoo. As is all shocked to say, where did you get that tattoo? I say serious, I learned it after mastering fire dragon slayer magic from Natsu. Raven shocked, you know who Natsu is? I say serious, yes. He was the first user of the boosted gear as well as being the strongest since he was the only one that could match dragon power in his prime. He's also the son of the fire dragon King Igneel as well as Ddraig's younger brother. Azazel shocked, and you were able to wake him up. I say serious, yep, He even taught me lighting dragon slayer magic as well as demon slayer magic. Azazel could not believe what he was hearing. He knew thanks to his research with sacred gears that those with the boosted gear and divine dividing gear have the ability to talk and communicate with their past hosts. But none of them were able to gain contact with the two strongest wielders of Ddraig and Albion, which were Natsu Dragneel and Wendy Marvel. But to think his nephew was able to make contact with him and got him to teach Dragon Slayer magic, then no doubt that Issei will be strongest Red Dragon Emperor past, present, and future. Issei confused, but what does this have to you? Eyes widen in realization we're Dragon Slayers, aren't we? Mickey nods happily. Yes, Issei. My real name is Mickey Yukalif Cheney, and I'm the great-granddaughter of Sting Yukalif and Rode Cheney, the Light and Shadow Dragon Slayer. Issei, Ddraig, Nero, and Natsu were completely gobsmacked on what they just heard and that Issei was actually a natural-born dragon slayer from the get-go. Issei was the most blown away since this entire time he thought he wasn't born with Op-As bloodline, but he finds out that he was secretly Op from the get-go. Mickey and Goru, seeing that they might have broken their son's mind and probably didn't believe them, decided to take down the camouflage spell they placed on them. When it was done, Goru's skin became a lot darker like rust, and his hair was completely a silvery white color, but his facial features became a lot sharper, and his eyes became the color of steel, which made Issei think he figured out where he got his good looks from. While Mickey had a more youthful facial expression, and her hair also became snow white color, but with a black fringe to the side and it was cut short. Her eyes were no longer light brown and were instead completely black with blood-red iris that almost looked like slits. Mickey smiles. Believe us now, honey. They say shocked. This is unbelievable. My parents are secretly complete badasses. Dad looks like a retired hitman, while you mom look like you should be in college. As is all mind, sweat drops. You're not that far off about your pops since your great-grandfather Kuratsugu was indeed a top-rank assassin, which earned him the name the Mage Killer. Your pop looks like a spitting image of him, which till this day scares the shit out of me. Mickey blushes while waving Issei off. Ice, you're so sweet complimenting your mother. Issei, mind curious, wait, if mom is only Sting and Rogue's great-granddaughter, wouldn't she be still over 100 years old? That's who's serious. Remember, Issei, when you become a dragon slayer, you essentially become a humanoid dragon, which still gives you higher life expectancy similar to devils. Issei, mind nodding. Ah, I see. So she must be technically close to 200 years old. Pales better not mention that to mom. They say serious. Okay. So now that I know about my heritage, why the seal? Why keep this from me? Nikki said, and it was for your own protection, honey. They say, confused. What do you mean? Because all Grandpa told me about why you guys placed the seal on me was because I was born special and that I was born extremely potent with both of our family's power. Bore a serious essay. When me and your mother decided to have children, we didn't want them to be thrusted into the supernatural like we were, and wanted to give them a chance at a normal life. But when you were born, something happened. Not only were you born with a boosted gear, but the magic capacity was off the charts. Mickey said, and not only did we find out you had a high affinity for all the 5 great elements with your highest one being fire, which we believe it was due to Ddraig's influence, but you also showed an extremely high affinity for the unique form of spatial magic known as territory magic, which you inherited from your great-great-grandmother Minerva Orland, who was considered the most powerful spatial magic user to have ever existed. As is all sweat drops, don't forget the most scary. Honestly, sometimes she can become a real sadist while on the battlefield. Before she settled down, she was known as the Demon Queen that can bend space to her will, or size and annoyance anyway. Serious. If you were any other normal infant, that much magical energy would have killed you instantly. Says Sirius, since I was technically born a humanoid dragon, even my infant body was able to withstand the power I was producing. Mickey nods. That's right. So we tried to seal away powers when you were born in hopes it would be enough. Says Saturn, but let me guess it didn't last long. Aura nods. No. You see, we didn't know it at the time, but actually unlocked both your powers and the boosted gear after Irina left. Sirius, for 3 years, you and Ddraig secretly honed your skills because at the time, You two didn't believe we were part of the supernatural. Brave and serious. It wasn't until Albedo told us about you and Vali's secret training meetups, as Azul said, and it was a damned shame because from what we saw, you were prodigy among prodigy, already mastering Balance Breaker, and your magic skills were on a whole other level. I was pretty confident he would have taken me on easily. Issei confused Albedo. Vali, why don't I remember these names? In pain. Everyone worried Issei. While Issei's head was in pain, he saw images from his childhood pieces that were actually missing and now we're seeing for the first time. You see images of him performing high-level spells and working hand-to-hand combat techniques, and how he would talk to Ddraig all the time, like if they were best buds. He also saw himself with beautiful black hair who was a few years older than him who he looked up to and loved with all his heart. Then he sees a beautiful girl who was the same age as him who had beautiful silvery white hair and light hazel eyes. He remembers how she was a bit shy at first and couldn't really trust anyone, but they slowly became best friends. But what shocked him the most was that this girl was actually his rival. But the strange thing was that he didn't feel any sort of anger or desire to attack or kill this girl, but instead their bond grew stronger. He would see them still getting along and spending time with one another. It was then the images stopped and Issei came back to reality, but with a slight headache. Issei groans in pain. What was that? I felt I just saw memories that I longed to forget, but I can't get the full picture. Mickey said, and that was one of your old memories resurfacing from the seal breaking. Or are serious, which means it's time to undo the seal. Break serious. Before we do so, I want to know why you all sealed away my memories as well. As is all serious Ddraig, you volunteered. Issei Ddraig shocked. What? Mickey. Serious Ddraig. When we explained to you on why we had to seal both you and his Issei memories, you complied and even went as far as resetting the boosted gears so that his Issei wouldn't accidentally awaken you again. Ddraig shocked. Why the hell would I do that? Mickey serious because you said that his Issei reminded you of your best and favorite host and that you would do anything to protect him. Ddraig was honestly gobsmacked. Did he really see Natsu inside Issei when he first awakened inside Issei? He would admit when Natsu was his host, he would have done anything to ensure his safety, and he hasn't entirely felt that way towards any of his previous hosts, at least until he met Issei. Mickey serious, don't believe me if you want, but you'll soon find out. Goro serious, are you ready for it, Issei? Issei serious, yes. Goro serious, alright, be warned, it might sting a bit. But that being said, both Goro and Mickey walked up to Issei and placed their hands in front of him, in which a large magic circle appeared on Issei and started to turn like a vault being unlocked. When the magic circle was undone, a huge burst of energy erupted from Issei, which shocked everyone in the room, cause they didn't think Issei would have this much power inside of him. Mickey shocked. How the hell does he have this much power? As is all shocked, Issei's magical power is like water. When we placed the seal on him, it was putting in a plug, but the water still kept on growing over the years, and during that time, a few leaks would pop up, but now that we unplugged it, it's like we unleashed a tsunami of power that is currently washing over us. Everyone was amazed by this statement, since it meant that even though his powers were sealed, he was unknowingly getting stronger by the day. No doubt he will reach the top strongest category in no time at all, now that his full power has been unleashed. All while this was going on, as AWS surfing through his lost memories and recollected all the things he did in those 3 years. He remembered Albedo, who was essentially his older sister, though looking back he saw she was probably a bit too loving of him. Then there was Valina Lucifer, or Vali for short. He remembered how shy and nervous she was when they first met because she had finally escaped from her abusive grandfather, and even got more scared when she found out that I possessed the boosted gear. But most importantly, he remembered the promise he made to Vali when they were kids and that he was going to make sure to uphold that promise. When it was done, Issei felt a little bit disoriented, but was able to regain his balance. Issei groans in pain. On my head again. Angled concern. Issei-san, are you alright? There is a concern. Will you be okay? Issei groans. Yeah, I just need to sort out my memories. Azazel serious. Well, kid, you'll have to do that later because I actually need your help. Issei serious. Why? What happened? It was then Azazel explained to Issei about the situation with Excalibur fragments, and how Kakabeel was going to destroy the town, killing everyone including Riaz and Sona to start another great war. Azazel couldn't believe that Riaz lied to him about the possible danger happening in Quer, and she straight up denied it. He was going to have a serious talk with Riaz once he finishes cleaning this mess up, but first he needed to confront Azazel. Azazel, serious Uncle Azazel. Azazel, curious, what is it, kid? Azazel, serious, if I'm going to do this, I want payment out of it. Azazel, shocked, are you insane? Both you and your master along with this is going to be blown to smithereens, and you want to be paid. Issei raises an eyebrow. You gotta remember you are asking a devil to help clean up your mess and compensation must be made. As is all serious, how about your master still being alive as compensation? Issei raises an eyebrow. Issei's all in white, fine, name your price. Issei smirks, how about 10 million US dollars? Azazel shocked, that's outrageous. Issei smirks, well, we are talking about stopping another great war from occurring, which will no doubt end in extinction upon billions of other human lives on top. I think it's a fair price. Azazel and white, I won't do it. Issei taps his wrist. Tick-tock, Azazel. Azazel grumbles and annoy handsome. Fine. Issei smirks. What was that? Azazel annoyed. Fine. Issei smiling while forcefully shaking his hand. Pleasure doing business with you, Azazel. Everyone couldn't believe what they just witnessed, and that Issei essentially robbed Azazel of 10 million US dollars from the Grigori's funds. Raven couldn't but snicker at her ex-husband's situation since she knew Shamaz. I was going to give him hell when he returned back to Grigori. Azazel angrily points, but I want Kakabeel alive. Got it? Issei smirks, you bet. Looks to his group, I want you three to stay since I don't know what to expect out there. Ingvald, serious, no, I'm coming with you. Or is a serious, oh am I, serious, no, no way. This is a high-level danger zone which cannot get yourselves killed in. Serious, we have been in many life and death situations already, and this is no different. Serious, this is different because one slip up and then boom, we're Magaton, and I was tasked to protect you, and this is like essentially throwing you into the pack of hungry wolves. No, I won't risk it. Ingvald, serious, Issei send, do you not have faith in us? Issei shocked, what? Of course I do, and if this was any other fight then I wouldn't mind taking you since I know you two can handle yourselves. But this time the risks are just too high. Being very serious, every battle we face could be considered high risk no matter how you look at it. In Kyoto, we could have easily died, but we pulled through together and made it out alive. There's a serious, she's right, master. Issei concern, I know, but there's a smirks, master, even if you leave us, then we're just gonna follow you anyway, so you might as well let us come. Issei sighs while looking at Leonardo. Are you even gonna stay here, Leonardo? Leonardo, stoic. I'm curious about what you can do. Issei sighs in annoyance. Fine. You three can come. Let's go. Boris smirks, hold it right there, mister. Issei confused, Boris smirks, you don't think I'm gonna send you there in your major fight looking like that? Issei curious while tilting his hem. Boris smirks, come with me. A part of me knew the day would come, so I made you some things to help you go out with a bang. It was then Issei and Gora quickly went upstairs to get the things that Issei needed. After a few minutes, Issei came down wearing a black trench coat with a hoodie and black and white shirt underneath. On the trench coat, Issei had a belt that connected to a leather pauldron on his left shoulder, as well as a large belt buckle on his waist. He also wore black jeans with his usual combat boots. On his arms, Issei had two black leather bracers with black fingerless gloves. On his legs were two blades pistols, and on his back was the Red Queen. Everyone was amazed and in awe of Issei's combat attire, including Issei himself, since he truly believed he looked like an edgy steampunk badass. But Azazel was shocked the most since he recognized that sword on Issei's back. Greg smirks, looking good, partner. Natsu grins. I'll say I wish I had an outfit like that when I was alive. Nero smirks. Damn, kid, I thought I was supposed to be the one with the fashion sense in this group, and here you are showing me up. Issei, mind, smirks. Thanks, guys. I think I can say I have gone full badass right now. Azazel shocked to say that sword. How did you? Issei smirks. Come on, Uncle Azazel. Did you forget who had the boosted gear before me? Waves. Well, I'm off, and I'll be nice and give you until the end of the week to send me the money since I need time to make an international account. Urza smirks. Ready, Master? Issei smirks. Ready when you guys are. Issei smirks. Well then let's go. And Vold nervous. Wait for me. Leonardo nods. Humph. Issei smirks while twirling his guns. Well, there's only one thing to say right now. Let's get this party started. IO update. Name. Issei Hyoudou. Earth name. Issei Age.17.Idols. Red Dragon Emperor. Strongest Dragon Emperor. Pawn of Rias Gremory. Strongest pawn. The Crimson Slayer. Wielder of the demonic swords of Sparta. The strongest demonic sword user, the Dark Knight, a prodigy among prodigy, the demon king that rules over time and space, the descendant of the guardian of humanity, the descendant of the dragon of shadows and light, the child that makes the impossible possible, the boy that destroys fate, the embodiment of fire, the dragon that controls the light and the darkness, the child that can bring together the light and the darkness, the pillar of the three factions, the future husband of Yasaka, soon to be father of Konu, strongest youth devil, fastest high-class devil in history, the true harem king, bane of all men's existence, the ultimate woman-wife stealer, the reincarnation of Adonis, the reincarnation of Sparta and Igneel, Issei, Ice-kun, Issei senpai, darling, beloved, partner, brother, papa, hatchling and kiddo. Personality. To his friends and loved ones, kind, caring, protective, goofy, perverted at times, smart, serious, reliable, honorable, polite and sweet. To his enemies, cold, heartless, sadistic and unforgiving. Likes. His friends, his family, Rias and her peerage, Sona and her peerage, the devil faction, the heaven faction, the fallen angel faction, Yakai faction, Shinto faction, Norse faction, Greek faction, Hindu faction, peace and quiet, training, fighting strong opponents, cooking, singing, occasionally, his harem, Natsu, Nero, Rogue and Drake. Dislike. Riser, will change, Kiho's brigade, Old Satan faction, Loki, Hera, Diodora, Hero faction, Quilpeth, Rizvium, rapists, assholes, people who believe they are better than everyone else and anyone who dares to hurt his friends and family. Relatives, mother, Mickey Ucliffe Cheney, father, Gore Tasaka Eme, grand aunt, Ilya Einsburn, grandfather, deceased, Shiro Imaya, grandmother, deceased. Rintasaka Imaya, surrogate grandmother. Artoria Pendragon, great ancestor, deceased. Senji Muramasa, great grandfather, deceased. Sting Ucliffe, great grandmother, deceased. Yukino Agria, great grandfather. Reg Cheney, great grandmother, deceased, Minerva Orland. Godfather, uncle, Azazel. Godmother, auntie, Raven Branwen. Second godfather, uncle, Crow Branwen. New weapons, justice and vengeance. A pair of twin-bladed pistols gifted to Issei by his father since he thought he never knew when his son would get into a firefight. Burkana Kan Shu and Bakuya. After learning how to use projection well enough and taking inspiration from his grandfather's most used weapon, which were a pair of Chinese swords that represent yin and yang, he thought it would be useful in case he ever got into sword battle involving speed. Avalon is the hallowed scabbard of Excalibur, the embodiment of the Utopia King Arthur Siegs, originally stolen from her shortly before the Battle of Camelot due to the machinations of Morgan Le Fay. It is a luxurious piece of equipment made of gold and decorated with blue enamel that seems more like a treasure to show dignity and nobility like a crown or staff than a weapon. No one knows what kind of divine mystery it is made from, but it was created by fairies along with Excalibur, an inscription written in fairy letters engraved on its center to show that it is not the work of man. It bequeaths limited immortality through constant regeneration, as well as preventing physical deterioration caused by aging. When Issei was born, Goro, out of his concern for son, ejected Avalon from himself and put it into Issei for his protection. New abilities: Master Swordsman, Master Marksman, Weapons Proficiency. Issei can quickly grasp the fundamentals of whatever weapon he picks up. clairvoyance rank B+, a visual ability that is also called Hawkeye. This is generally a must-have ability that belongs to most skilled archers. It is also frequently used during scouting. Simply looking from a high location is efficient to fully survey a town and search for enemies. In addition, clairvoyance will affect the accuracy of all long-ranged weapons. It connotes superior visual perception and dynamic occipital capture, such as to supplement the long-range aiming of projectile weapons. Because of a good balance with the mind's eye true skill, limited future sight is possible. Mind's eye true, rank A, capable of calm analysis of the abilities of the opponent, as well as the battle conditions, even when in danger, and deduce an appropriate course of action after considering all possibilities to escape from a predicament. Quicksilver. Quicksilver is a style granting the power to slow down time at the cost of demonic energy. After defeating the Geryon and absorbing its powers, Issei was able to develop the ability to slow down time. Royal Guard. The Royal Guard style is one of the most difficult styles to master, but potentially one of the strongest. Since it involved perfectly blocking and absorbing an opponent's attack and reflecting it back at them. Through trial and error, Issei was eventually able to use and utilize the Royal Guard style. The jutsu is a basic form of and refers to any techniques involving the martial arts, or the optimization of natural human abilities. Taijutsu is executed by directly accessing the user's physical and mental energies, relying on the stamina and strength gained through training. Senjutsu user. Senjutsu is the power to control the flow of life energy, or in living beings. Using it, one can strengthen both their internal and external bodies or even cause vegetation around them to bloom or wither. Senjutsu users are able to sense the kai and auras of others, thus letting them track targets from faraway distances. It can be used to see through illusions by detecting the flow of the spirit or kai of others. Senjutsu is also capable of dealing interior damage to others by targeting their blood vessels and internal organs, and through disrupting the kai of their opponent's chi or severing it. It is possible to cause direct damage to their spirit and life force, and using this as an attack could result in killing their opponent. As such, there are very few ways to defend against Senjutsu. Senjutsu can be used to disrupt the aura of others, thereby preventing them from using their abilities. Senjutsu is also capable of forcefully putting others to sleep. By controlling the chi of others, Senjutsu can be used to extract curses and poisons from their bodies. During Issei's stay in Kyoto, he was able to at least learn the basics of Senjutsu in order to use Taki. Jewel Magecraft is the type of thaumaturgy involving transferring magical energy into jewels to use as limited-use mystic codes. Compared to other mediums, the most compatible storage space for the Tosaka family is jewels. It is said that they are able to act as prisons that stop flow, easily accumulating and storing the thoughts of their owners. Among the jewels of the world, there are those that have spent years underground having contact with the spirits of nature and have been stained with their power, allowing them to act as a simplified type of magic crest when filled with energy. The downside of the storage medium is that they break upon the release of the energy, so they must be replaced with each use. As a descendant of the Tosaka family, Issei was able to utilize forms of gem magecraft, thanks to father's help. Projection Magecraft X is a magecraft that reproduces tools for a few minutes by means of images. Due to Issei being a part of the EMEA family who are known for their high-quality projection magic, Issei is able to produce weapons and tools to the point they were real. But due to the uniqueness of Issei's birth, it is possible for Issei to trace and copy the properties of some divine constructs, which was never possible for anyone in the Enya Muramasa bloodline, except for his grandfather Shiro. Unlimited Draconic Blade Works. The unique and powerful variant of Shiro Amiya's Unlimited Blade Works. In this field, Issei has all the necessary components and elements to forge shaped swords. In this reality, Marble can copy almost any weapon that Issei has seen at least, and it is stored here. Chant I am the bone of my sword, steel is my body and fire my blood, unknown to death nor known to life, but stood pain to create weapons with the flames of the everlasting star. Yet the fire within my soul shall never fade, so as I roar to the heavens with blazing determination, Unlimited Draconic Blade Works. Innate Time Control. A form of time manipulation, which is the ability to separate the passage of time inside a designated space from the flow of time in the outside world. But similar to his great-grandfather Kuratsugu, Issei uses it to where he places a small bounded field around his body and alters the time within his own body. Time Alter Double Axle. This allows Issei to allowing him to move faster than the human eye can see. It speeds up his blood flow, hemoglobin metabolism, and muscle movement, all at the same time. Using this brief burst of speed, he can use his own physical skills and reaction speed at a level far above his current limitations. It allows for split-second evasion in front of an enemy, and its power of mobility can make for one of his greatest defenses. He could also increase his speed even further by using triple or square axle territory magic. Being a descendant of Riser Issei was able to inherit a unique form of spatial magic known as territory. With this, Issei is able to use magic revolving around the manipulation of space, which allows him to manipulate any spatial region within his line of sight. It also allows him to teleport things instantly out of thin air. He can also switch positions with his chosen target by simultaneously teleporting his target and himself to each other's location. He can also change the properties of the space, such as changing the temperature and, as a result, producing heat underwater or creating explosions. Issei was able to start learning this form of magic, thanks to his mother, who was also able to use this magic, but not as well as Minerva. Errata Explosion. This technique allows Issei too to create condensed explosions that she can manipulate in size and potency. Erator Nihility. Issei cloaks his hands in space wave matter to create additional damage to his opponents. Erator Drain. This technique to imprison any living being inside his space, while also being able to absorb the captured target's magic power away simultaneously. Red Demonic Lighting is a subspecies magic of lightning magic. It is said to be one of the most powerful lightning-based magic in the history of lightning-centered magic, a shocking power without equal, and as the name would ever so subtly suggest, it enables the caster to manifest crimson lightning that has overwhelming destructive power. There are two ways to manifest red lightning. For one, the caster can use the emotion of rage to amplify the properties of their ordinary lightning to transform it into red lightning, or the caster is able to use demonic energies as a catalyst for the transformation. White Holy Lightning. It is a quite rare and powerful variation of lightning magic, having been renowned to be one of the most powerful lightning-based magic, being almost similar and equal to famous, which is known for its shocking power, which does not have any equal elemental counterparts. White lightning was thought to be forgotten for centuries before it was discovered again by one genius magician, whose efforts allowed it to roar through the skies again. Storm Magic. Extremely powerful magic created out of humankind's desire to manipulate the forces of nature for their benefits. It's considered to be an ancient spell dating back 1,000 of years where magic was in its infantile stages. Technological advances were little to none, and people were fending themselves from the predatory factions hunting them down as either a source of food or mere entertainment. Heroic Energy Manipulation. The user can create, shape, and manipulate the forces they drive, as well as make up fire, plasma, and elements based around them. Said elements can also be manifested by the user, manipulating them to their leisure. Firestorm Creation. The user can create firestorms, conflagrations of intense temperature, capable of incinerating anything and everything in the path. The flames can come from any source of fire or heat, such as simple or magic flames or lava or even solar energy. Chapter 7. The Star of God. Kwa Town, hillside 7:00 p.m. On the hillside overlooking Kwa Academy stood a beautiful young woman that was around 5'10" with long light silver hair that reached to her thighs, as well two bangs that covered both sides of her face. She had hazel brown eyes and an extremely well-endowed figure. She was wearing a dark green the fifth neck shirt that showed her gifted chest and a high-collared black leather jacket over it. She also wears burgundy jeans with a silver chain drooping down over them and black leather chaps with 3 bands encircling her right calf and black shoes with black buckles. This girl was no other than Valina Lucifer of Vala, as well as the White Dragon Empress of this generation. She was currently looking over Kwa Academy and saw how terrible the Gremory was doing against Gokabil and the rogue Archbishop of Annihilation, Valper Galilei. She honestly wondered why her adopted father Azazel asked her just keep watch over the fight between the Gremry and Citri peerage against Cacabeal when she could easily take down Cacabeal in a matter of a few minutes. Though the upside was that her childhood friend, Issei, was not down there. Ever since she and her sister Albedo found out that he became a devil, they were devastated, with Albedo almost about to go on a rampage and kill Rias Gremry for taking Issei away from her, which took both her and her adopted mother, Raven, to stop her. Though Vala couldn't deny that she felt a strong hatred towards Rias since she read her file and could tell she was essentially a spoiled princess, and probably thought just because she got the Red Dragon Emperor in her peerage, she could take on anyone. Vala annoyed this is dumb, honestly, watching these amateurs biting off more than can't do. Honestly, they really think just because they had Issei on their side, it was going to be easy going from here on out. Tisk pathetic. I'll be serious now, Vali. We both know that even with Issei there, it wouldn't make a difference since the way Issei is now, he wouldn't be able to land a hit on Cacabeal. Vali said in, yeah, the current ice wouldn't be able to, but the old ice, my ice, would have taken care of Cacabeal like an early training session. Albion concern, you really miss him, don't you? Vali said in everyday Albion concern, I know I miss him too. But before Vali could say anything, a pair of hands covered her eyes and a voice spoke. Vali shocked, what the in white, who are you? As he smiles, guess who? It was then Vali tried elbowing the person that covered her vision only to hit nothing but her vision, and when she looked behind her, she saw a boy around her age with long spiky brown hair with the tips of it being white, and his eyes being hazel, almost gold. Vala couldn't help but blush at how handsome the boy in front of him was, but Issei couldn't help but blush as well since he couldn't believe Vali grew up to be a complete babe. Issei, mind, blushes madly. Holy shit, Vali is a complete babe. Breaks sighs, and just like every other woman you come into contact with, she's going to end up completely in love with you. And it's my rival's host out of all people. Vali serious. Who are you and what are you doing here? Issei pretends to playfully get hurt. Ouch, Vali. I am completely hurt by you right now. I mean, I know that memories were sealed, but I would have thought you still remembered me. Vali confused. What are you talking about? They say smiles, come on, Vali, you really don't remember me? It's only been like, what? 7 years since we both saw each other. I bet if Albedo Neeson were to see me right now, she would get it right away, pales a bit, though she might get a little bit too excited for my taste. It was then Vali widened in realization of who was the person that was in front of her, and she couldn't help but get all teary-eyed since she never thought she would see the real Issei again. Vali, teary-eyed, is that you? Issei smiles warmly, it's me, Vali, it's really me, and I remember everything. It was then Vali went up to Issei and gave him a hug while shedding tears of joy that the love of her life had actually returned. Issei hugged Vali back while caressing her back since he was also glad that he finally got to see one of his childhood friends again. Vali shedding tears, Ice, you have no idea how much I missed you. Issei smiles warmly, I know Vali and I've missed you too. Vali sniffles after your parents sealed away your memories and you forgot who I was. I felt so alone for so long. A part of me thought that I would just be a distant memory to you. Say sad and I'm sorry that you felt so alone for so long. Serious. But know that nothing in this universe that would ever make me forget about you permanently. Ali sniffles, so why did you become a devil and join the Gremry peerage? Issei surprised. Oh well, chuckles nervously. Well, you see I didn't become a devil by choice per Issei. Ali, confused. What do you mean? Issei nervous. Ali, serious eyes. How exactly did you become a devil? Nervous. Will you promise not to blow up? Ali, eyes narrowed. Explain now. Ali, furious. What? Nervous. Now, Vali. Let's calm down now. After Issei explained to Vali that he came after the devil from being killed on his date with Rainer, she became absolutely furious. She wanted to march up to Azazel and give him a piece of her mind. Hell, she even had half a mind to tell Albedo about it, though she would no doubt kill Azazel for letting like this happen to Issei. But more so that her hatred for Rias Gremry went to a whole another level since all this time she essentially just scooped up Issei when he was lying on the floor dead. But she was even more angry at herself since she left to do a mission with Albedo around that time, And if she just waited an extra day or so, then she could have prevented that bitch-ass and Priyanar from killing Issei. While this was going through Vali's mind, both Albion and Issei were trying their best to calm Vali down before something bad happened. Issei smiles nervously. Vali, please calm down. Albion concerned. Please, Vali, listen to Issei. You going berserk is not going to help anyone. Plus, the last thing we need you to do is enter the Juggernaut Drive. Mind curious. Juggernaut Drive. Greg serious. I'll explain it to you later. Vali furious. It's just so frustrating since I've both seen and heard how that spoiled princess had essentially paraded you around and bragged about how she was able to get the Red Dragon Emperor in her peerage. Say, serious look, Vali, I know that Riaz is a bit too spoiled and carefree for her own good sometimes, but she's actually a really good person underneath it all. Vali sat in. It's just why would you willingly serve her? Especially with your powers and memories returning, you're like a 1,000,000 times stronger than her. Issei sighs. Look, it's complicated, and besides I'm not planning to serve her forever since one of my plans in life is to hurry up and be a high-class devil. I think soloing Kakabil can be one of those feats to convince the Devil Council to bump me up to middle-class devil. Plus, you know that removing the evil pieces is a pain in the ass since forcefully removing them will literally kill me. Vali saddened. I see. Curious, who are those three behind you? Urza smirks with pride. My name is Urza Scarlet, and I'm Izza's sword and future harem member. Vali annoyed. Izza's what? Izza's eyes don't listen to that part. She's unique, and plus, she's been held captive for 10 years, so her education is a bit lacking in some areas. Vali eyes narrowed. I see. I'm involved. Nervous. My name is I'm involved Leviathan. Nice to meet you. Vali surprised. You're half-blood like me. Smiles. Well then, it's nice to meet you. My name, Valina, Lucifer. I'm involved. Nervous. You're a Lucifer. Vala confused. What's wrong? S.A. Serious. Vala, your grandfather is currently after her. Shocked. What? Why? S.A. Serious. Vala possesses the long Eno's Neri, Kiri, which has the ability to control dragons. Ddraig told me that this sacred gear could possibly even control even the dragon gods, and if your grandfather were to get this then. Vali serious, then he could not only destroy the world, but also recreate it in his own image. Looks to Ingvald. Sat in. Ingvald, please forgive me, and I'm sorry for what my piece of shit grandfather has put through so much. Trust me, I know the kind of monster he is. That's why one of my main goals in life is to kill him for making me and my mother's life a living hell. So please, Ingvald, don't hold anything against me. Ingvald looked into Valina's eyes for a moment, seeing if there was any form of deceit from her, in which she found none. Ingvald smiles nervously. It's okay, Valina-san. Since if Issei trusts you, then I'm sure you're not a bad person. Ali smiles softly. Thank you, Ingvald-san. Issei smiles. I was asked by one of the Strauss members to look after Ingvald and bring her over to the current government for protection. Vali serious. I see. That does make sense if we want to keep Rizoim away from Ingvald. Looks at Leonardo. You are? Leonardo Stoke. The sage chuckles sheepishly. Yeah, he doesn't talk much, sadly. His name is Leonardo, and he's the wielder of the Annihilation Maker. Ali. Serious. Okay, so why are you here? Shouldn't you be down there with peerage members? They say. Serious. I was on my way until I felt your energy signature. Smiles. I thought it would be rude to not catch up a little before kicking some ass. Ali blushes madly. Oh, I see. Smiles fondly. Thank you so much, Ice. I say. Mind blushes. Crap. She's both hot and cute. I say. Serious. Anywho, the other reason why I came up here was because I was curious on how my peerage was doing against Kakabil. Vali sighs. They're doing terrible. Kabil summoned 2 Cerberus, which themselves were giving them trouble. If it wasn't for the exorcist girl with the Excalibur fragment, then Riaz and her peerage would have been dog food by now. Currently, Kabil is essentially toying with them, and a stray exorcist just combined 4 Excalibur fragments, and is about to chop up that knight friend of yours. Issei, mind, surprised 5 Excalibur fragments in the same place. Smirks. This is perfect. I can help fulfill Grandma Artoria's request in one swoop. Issei sighs in disappointment. I see it's just as I feared. Vali. Curious, what do you mean? Sighs. Well, when I left a month ago to train and become stronger, a part of me thought that Riaz and the others would take my words to heart, and maybe at least train a little bit to improve after that humiliating defeat against Riser. But looking at them now, they haven't done jack shit and have casual going on with their business like nothing happened. Now here they are getting their asses hooped, and all of them are hoping for me to swoop in and save the day. Vali. Curious, well, are you? They say serious, yes, but not in the way that they think. I'm mostly doing this so that my hometown doesn't get blown to smithereens, and plus I had Uncle Azazel pay me to take care of it. Vali. Surprised you had Azazel pay you. Smirks. I think of it as compensation for not doing a good as leader and essentially letting me get killed by Rainer. Vali. Curious, how much did you ask for? Issei smirks. $10 million US dollars. Issei laughs. My goodness. I bet he felt like he got kicked in the nuts. Issei laughs. He totally did. Oh my Vali. You should have been there. You would have been on the floor dying. Even Auntie Raven was giggling at Azazel's expression. Ali giggles. Oh eyes, I missed this. We should catch up more after this. As he smiles, I totally agree since we both have a lot to catch up on. Well, I think it's about time I make a grand kick-ass entrance. Looks to his group. Are you three ready? Wielder is a nods. Hi. Leonardo nods. Issei smirks. Well then, shall we? Scene change. Go Academy. We currently see the Gremry peerage with the addition of Zenobia Corda fighting off the rogue fallen angel coder Kekabil, who was a man with long black hair and red eyes, and unlike other fallen angels, Kekabil has pointy ears. Kekabil possesses 5 pairs of black wings. Both the Citri peerage were outside the school maintaining a barrier in order to make sure the damage caused by the fight didn't spread through outside. They had just finished destroying the 2 Cerberus that Kekabil had summoned in order to keep the Gremry peerage and Zenobia from Valpar Galilei from fusing the Excaliburs together. Valpar, who was a short, bespectacled elderly man with gray hair, a mustache, black eyes, who wore a priest outfit. He had just finished fusing the Excaliburs into one sword and passed it to Fried Selzen, the psycho-stray priest. To make things worse for the group, they had about 20 minutes to defeat Kekabil, or else the magical energy placed into the fused Excalibur would explode, which would no doubt destroy not only the school, but also the whole town. Even though she didn't want to admit it, she really wished that Issei was here so he could use his boosted gear in order to give them a power boost. She honestly couldn't believe that karma was hitting like a freight train since she told Issei yesterday that everything in Kwa was fine despite the dangers that were currently going on. And even when he told her if anything was going on to just tell him and that he would be here immediately. Though the bright side was that the night of Ria's Gremry Kibyuto, after confronting Valper and with the help of the souls who were held captive souls of his comrades, was able to achieve his balance breaker known as the Sword of Betrayer, which holds both holy and demonic power. But before Kiba and Zenobia could confront Fried and Valper for the crimes, they committed a voice that sounded familiar to everyone. When everyone turned to the source of the voice, it was Issei accompanied by 3 people they none of them recognized. But Issei was different in that not only was he a lot more powerful, but also that he became a lot more handsome and muscular. This of course caused the girls in the Gremry period along with Zenobia to blush madly of how much Issei has changed in just a month. But they couldn't help but be relieved that Issei came in just in time. Issei. Serious? Well then, looks like I'm fashionably late to the party, it seems. Ria's relieved. Issei. Akabio grins. Well, if it isn't the mighty Red Dragon Emperor. I was wondering where you were hiding. But now, seeing that you're being worthy to give me a challenge, I will humor you and let you have the first attack. Issei, annoyed. Will you be quiet? Gosh. I promise to deal with your sorry ass in a minute. But there's something that requires my undivided attention, so I need to sit out for a few minutes. Roars holy lighting. It was then Issei with his middle finger and index finger together produced white lighting that was filled with large amounts with both light and holy energy, and struck Akabiel, sending him back all the way across the other side of the barrier. Everyone was shocked that Issei was able to damage a cadre-class fallen angel like it was nothing, but also the fact that Issei was able to use holy-based magic despite being a devil. The one who was most shocked was Aquino, since she didn't think that anyone besides her and her father could produce it. Aquino, mind, shocked Issei, can use holy lighting. Issei sighs, now that elf-looking modifier is out of the way for the moment. Serious, sorry Kiba, but I can't let you destroy that sword. Kiba shocked, what? Why? Issei sad, no, Excalibur. What have they done to you, everyone? Confused? Issei sat in, I can hear you. Each of you is in constant pain. Diva confused Excalibur is in pain. Issei smiles softly. Don't worry. I'm here to help you ease your pain, and in time will help you become one. It was then Issei's chest began to glow a golden color, and formed the shape of a scabbard. It was then both Zenovia's Excalibur destruction and Freed's fused Excalibur dropped to the ground and weren't responding to either of their wills. Zenovia struggling, what the? My Excalibur won't move. Freed annoyed, what the hell is going on? I essentially became the perfect wielder of Excalibur, so why isn't this listening to me? Alper shocked, it can't be you have it. Freed annoyed, what's going on, old man Valper? Alper in awe, this boy possesses the sacred scabbard of Excalibur Avalon. Everyone except his and his group shocked, what? Rhea shocked, the scabbard is said to have the ability to give the user healing abilities that are on par with the Phoenix family on top of limited immortality. How the hell did Issei get it? It was then Issei raised both of his hands, in which as if by command the two Excaliburs started to move towards Issei. Both Zenobia and Freed tried to force their swords to listen to them and not go to Issei, but it was to no avail. The two swords then thrusted away from their current wielders towards Issei, to which they constantly floated around him. Issei smiles warmly, don't worry, you're safe now, and I promise to collect the last of your brother and sister so you can be whole again. It was then the two swords turned into 5 cores, which were the fragments of the original Excalibur. Once the swords were back into their core form, they gently entered through Issei and into Avalon. When the process was done, a bright light engulfed Ys, blinding everyone before it died down. When it did, the silhouette of Avalon glowed brighter, knowing that almost all of its pieces of Excalibur were together. Ys smiles warmly, there, you're safe now. They were shocked to say, what did you do? Ys serious. I took the Excalibur fragments and placed them inside Avalon. Don't be annoyed, but you had no right to take them away. To say serious, actually, I had every right to take them, since not only has both heaven and the church ignored Excalibur's cry to be truly one again and ease its pain, but also I was personally asked to be tasked to gather all of the Excalibur fragments in order to make Excalibur whole again. Sid confused Excalibur was in pain, as say serious. That's right, Kibby. For centuries, the fragments of Excalibur have been in constant pain and agony from being split apart. The only way for its pain to stop was only if to be whole again, and for centuries, the fragments of Excalibur have pleaded the Pendragon family, the church, and even heaven itself to help stop its suffering, only to be ignored and treated like another weapon. When the fragments thought their suffering couldn't be worse, the church thought it was a good idea to reforge the fragments into 7 separate swords, eyes, and disappointment. It's honestly a miracle that they haven't gone corrupted through being in so much pain and so long. Serious. But now it is my task to gather all the fragments and end their suffering by making Excalibur whole again. This information shocked everyone, especially Kiba, who his entire life so far dreamt of destroying Excalibur in order to avenge his dead comrades, since none of them were able to wield Excalibur. But now Issei told him that all this time Excalibur was just in that much pain and was probably enduring just as much suffering as him and his comrades. This made him think if his vengeance should be directed at Excalibur, since if it was technically an innocent, then his revenge should be directed towards strictly Valpar, since he was the one in charge of the project. Zenobia was also surprised by this information, since if the Excalibur fragments had tried pleading to be whole for centuries, then why didn't heaven do anything about it? But before that, she had one question on her mind. Zenobia serious by whose orders? They say serious, it's none of your concern. Valpar growls in annoyance. The Einsborns. Everyone confused? Bise curiosum? Valpar growls in annoyance. It was that accursed Einsborn family who were in possession of Avalon, or to be more precise, they stole it. Both the Pendragon family and the church have tried numerous times to get it back from them, but with no avail. The last time I heard the Einsburn gave Avalon to the infamous mage killer Kiritsugu Amaya for safekeeping until eyes wide in realization when looking at Issei. It can't be your bang. It was then Issei shot out of one of his guns near Valpar, which startled everyone, but the part that really scared everyone was the look in Issei's eyes. They were both hollow and cold like an expert killer. Even Fried couldn't help but have a shiver down his spine when looking into eyes. This was definitely not the useless perverted devil that he fought over a month ago. No. What he saw was a person on a mission, and he would do and kill anyone in order to complete it. It was then Issei put one of his fingers to his lips, telling Valpar to be quiet since he wasn't entirely ready to reveal his family lineage just yet. Issei, serious SHHH. No one needs to know about that yet. Alper terrified, so it's true, Fried, help me. It was then Fried shook his head and regained his psychotic grin and brought his gun and light sword. Fried grins darkly. I don't care who you are, I'm still gonna chop you into little pieces. Everyone except for Issei's group concerned Issei. It was then Fried jumped into the air trying to perform an overhead slash on Issei who just stood nonchalantly, which confused and scared everyone on why he wasn't moving. But before Fried's attack could make contact, Urza came in the neck of time blocked using Graham, which shocked everyone seeing the legendary demonic said to be equal to Excalibur. Urza, serious. Are you alright, Master? Urza and her peerage shocked, Master. Issei smiles, I'm fine. Thank you, Urza, but I could have taken him. No problem. Urza smirks, nonsense. If I can't protect you from a weakeningly like him, then I have no right to be your sword. Valper shocked, that's Graham. Rhea shocked as in the demonic sword, Graham. The Kendo shock said to be the strongest demonic sword and the polar opposite of Excalibur. They say, mind size, if only they knew about the swords of Sparta. Zenobia shocked, but last I heard the demonic sword Graham was in possession of the descendant of Siegfried, or as a serious she was. But when Graham realized that her previous wielder was just using her as just a weapon, both her and Baumann left him and joined me. Now then come to me, Baumann. It was then summoned a two-handed golden greatsword with a blue jewel embedded in the hilt that boasts a magnificence, an enormity that makes it seem as if it was created by inhuman hands. This was Bauming, the sister sword of Graham, which was also wielded by Siegfried. Everyone was both amazed and shocked. They got to see two legendary swords that were once wielded by a legendary hero. But the one who was the most shocked was Kiba, since he couldn't believe who was in front of him. He honestly thought that she might have been killed along with the rest of his comrades in the holy sword, but when Issei called her Urza as well as that scarlet hair, he felt that there was no denying it. Kiba, mind in disbelief, I can't be, but Issei called her Urza, and that scarlet hair it has to be. Urza, serious now, then blow away my enemies in an endless whirlwind, Bauming. But that Bauming started to glow a bluish-green color, and Urza performed an overhead slash, and out came a giant whirlwind that severely damaged Fried and Balper as well as a good portion of the field. When it died down, a portion of the field was completely gone. Fried was rendered unconscious, while Valper was alive but barely, and the only reason was because he was able to put a barrier at the last second. Everyone was amazed by the power that Baumann produced, and just from one swing. Issei whistles while smirking, wow, you really got a hold on both Graham and Baumann, haven't you, Urza? Urza blushes while smiling. Well, I can't take all the credit since Ghislaine helped me a little on swordplay, as well as your advice to have faith in my weapons, and that in return will grant me the strength I need to overcome almost any adversary. But thank you, Master, your praise is greatly appreciated. Rias, mind jealous? The hell does she think she is blushing like that in front of my Issei like they've lovers already? Why is Issei constantly praising her when he should be focusing on seeing me again? Tiba in disbelief, is it really you? Nissen? Urza confused? Everyone confused? Tiba tearing up, it's really you, Urza Nissen? Urza shocked Isaiah. Kiba crying Nissen. It was then Kiba ran over to Urza while giving her a huge hug. This confused everyone in the Gremmery since Kiba never mentioned that he had a sister. Well, both Issei and Ingvold were surprised at first, but quickly remembered Urza's story and how she had a little brother figure named Isaiah. Though Issei was even more surprised that it was actually Kiba, even though deep down he had a feeling it was him after Urza told him what Isaiah looked like. Kiba shedding tears, I thought you killed like the rest of us. I thought I would never see you again. Urza smiles softly while stroking his hero Isaiah, still crying as always. Fib sniffles, but how did you survive? Urza smiles fondly. It was thanks to my master, Issei. He was the one who saved me. Tib surprised Issei. Urza nods while smiling. That's right, and I owe him everything. Valpar coughs out blood, smiling. I finally understand now. Everyone's surprised, shocked he's still alive. Valpar smiling. I didn't think of it due to the interface of that boy and the current wielder of Gram, but now I understand. If the balance between holy and devil power is disrupted, it could be possible, which means not only the devil's kings, but also go. Blurg, everyone except Issei gasped. Before Valpar could finish what he was saying, he was killed by a light spear which killed him instantly. When everyone saw where the light spear came from, it was Kakabil, though a bit bruised from his holy lighting, still had a satisfying smirk on his face. Kakabil smirks, oh Valpar, you really were very talented. Unfortunately, you weren't supposed to figure that part out. Ria's serious. Okay, Kakabil. What are you trying to do here? Kakabil smirks. I'm destroying everything that I find tedious. They say, Sirius can't entirely blame you for that one, since I honestly was about to put a hole in Valpar's head before he spilled the beans on that one, Ria shocked to say. Bikabia laughed. Oh, I see. So also know the truth as well. I guess it's no surprise given that you are the Red Dragon Emperor, Ria's serious. Yes. And if possible, I would like to keep it that way. Ria's confused. Wait, what truth? Ria's, what is he talking about? Serious. That information is classified even for Urias. Shocked what? Ria's couldn't believe the fact was actually keeping secrets from her. Ever since he arrived, Ria's could sense that there was something different about, and not just power and looks, but his personality is completely different as well. No longer Issei was the goofy and perverted boy that she had grown accustomed to and adore, but someone who was more serious and focused at the task at hand. The part was happy that her Issei was not being openly perverted and gotten stronger, but she also didn't like how Issei was essentially not paying attention to her like he used to, and a small part of her was honestly starting to regret sending Issei away because she honestly preferred the lovable perverted idiot over this Issei. Bakabil smirks, I will admit, Red Dragon, that attack you gave me surely did a number on me. If I had to guess, your holy lighting is even stronger than bark wheels. I can't mind, surprise, does that mean Issei is stronger than him? Issei, serious, thanks for the compliment, I guess. Akabil smirks, you amuse me, Red Dragon. When I read up on you, didn't you ever worth my time, given how weak and perverted you were, and if you were still that same person then I would have just told you to raise your power to the max and transfer it to one of them. But now look at you are powerful enough to give me an actual challenge. And I can tell from the look in your eyes that you're even hiding deeper within. If I had to guess, you're at least on par with Azazel or Raven. They say sighs and annoyance, are you done trying to dick ride me, or do you have a point to make? The Kabiel smirks, what I'm saying is that you actually might relieve me of my boredom and give me a worthy fight before the next great war begins. AC pinching his nose while sighing in annoyance, I swear in Great Red's name, if all the people that I'm going to fight are just psychotic warmongers or beings that want to take over the world, then I'm seriously gonna lose it. You know, if I had it my way, I would just kill you since it's a whole lot easier and faster. But Azazel wanted me to bring you in alive, so consider it your lucky day, I guess. For you shocked, wait, Azazel asked you to take down Kekabil. Issei serious. Yeah. On my way here, he confronted me and told me the whole situation that was going on and asked me to take care of it, which I accepted. Ikino confused, but why? Issei. Azazel is a fallen angel, and after everything they did to you in Asia, how can you trust him? Issei sighs, it's complicated, Ikino, but let's just say that not all fallen angels are out to get me. Serious. But never mind that for now, Ingvild, I want you to help Asia heal everyone. Ingvild nods high. Issei serious, Ursa, stay by Ingvild and protect her. Issei serious, yes, master. Issei serious and Leonardo. Leonardo stoic. Issei serious. Do you think you can summon a couple of those Alto Angelo and command them to form a phalanx around Rius and Peerage to protect them? Leonardo nods, yes. Issei serious. Good. And Zenobia? Zenobia. Serious. What? Serious. I would suggest you get behind the phalanx since this might get a little too close for comfort. Zenobia. Serious. Right. Once I gave out his orders to his group and Zenobia, Leonardo got to work on making a small group, Alto Angelos, and commanding them to form a perimeter around Rius and her peerage. Everyone was impressed on how Issei was about making a snap decision, and so calmly as well. The Kabyle smirks, my, so even the user of Annihilation Maker is present. An extremely powerful and dangerous Long-Eye-ness indeed, and to think you convinced him to join you is quite impressive. Something tells me that not only are you going to be the most powerful, but as well as the most dangerous Red Dragon Emperor that ever existed. Ria's concern is curiosum. Ria's concerned you can't take down Kabyle all by yourself. Please let me help you. Issei serious. All you would do is get in the way. Rias, you're too weak. Rias couldn't but feel hurt from Issei calling her weak since she was supposed to be his master, and here he was giving out orders like an expert strategist. But she also couldn't help but feel insulted since there was no way Issei got so powerful in just 1 month. Akibio smirks, my, rather cold to say to your lovely master, don't you think? Issei, serious, it's the truth whether she likes it or not. Even if I transferred some of my power to her, no doubt you would sweat it away like it was nothing, which would be a huge waste of my abilities. Akabyle chuckles. Oh, and how many boosts will you need in order to defeat me? Says Sirius, none. To be honest, you're not even worth using my sacred gear since you honestly believe this idiotic plan of yours will actually work. Everyone in the Gremry peerage were beyond statement, since ever since unlocking the boosted gear, he always used it in order to fight his opponents. But now he's confident to fight his opponents even without it. They didn't know if Issei was being overconfident, or just plain reckless since there was no way Issei could have gotten strong enough to fight an opponent like Kabyle without using the boosted gear. Kabyle laughs. Overconfident, are we? You really believe that you can defeat me without using the strongest weapon in your arsenal? Basically serious, it's not whether or not I believe I can take you down without the boosted gear. It's a fact since if I can't defeat someone pathetic as you without using Ddraig, then I truly have failed in my training and have no right to call myself the Red Dragon Emperor. The Kabyle grins darkly. Well, in that case, show me what you're made Red Dragon Emperor and prove to me that you're blurb. No one knows how it happened, but before they could even blink or even process what just happened, Issei appeared in front of Kabyle, delivering a devastating punch to his abdomen, causing him to cough out a good amount of blood. Kabyle shocked while spitting out blood. How? Issei, serious, simple. You talk too much. But before Kabyle could recover, Issei appeared in front of him again and started rapidly punching the cadre without giving him any form of recovery or a chance to counter. Everyone was shocked at how fast and how much damage Issei dealt to Kabyle. Not even Kiba using attributes as a knight could keep up how fast Issei's punches were. The fact was doing this all without using his boosted gear, which made it even more impressive and shocking. All the while for Kabyle it felt like his body was moving too slow for him to put up a decent counter. It felt all he could see was Issei casually punching him like it was nobody's business. The Kabyle, mine, and wait. Damn it, he's punching so fast my body can't react quickly enough to counter. I need a way to break this ridiculous combo of his. Seeing that there was no other way to break out of Issei's barrage of punches, he decided to take a gamble. Even though it would add more damage to himself on top of the blows he received from Issei. But he was willing to take it since it could open a path for him towards victory. The Kabyle using every bit of power he could muster, trying summoning an unstable orb of light to explode in order to help create some distance between him and AJ. Luckily for AJ, he noticed this due to his dragon instincts telling him that Kabyle was trying to pull something, in which he noticed the unstable orb of light that Kabyle was trying to make. Kabyle smirks. This is then the end for you, Red Dragon Emperor. Issei serious. Boom. Everyone except Issei's group worried Issei. The result of Kekabil creating that unstable orb of light created a large explosion that engulfed both Issei and Kekabil. When the dust settled, Issei was nowhere to be found, while Kekabil with some trouble was able to get back up. His whole body was covered in bruises with constant assault of Issei's punches. His face was beaten and bloody, and the arm that he used to create the orb of light was burned completely, with most of the skin on arm burned away and droplets of blood pouring out of it. The Kabyle was beyond furious to think he let a child defeat him so easily. He wanted to impale him with a 1,000,000 light spears and rip off his head off and use his skull as a cup to drink the finest wine, all while making his own parents watch everything right in front of them before killing them off. All the while, both Riaz and her peerage, even Zenobia, were curious and worried at what happened to Issei. Riaz worried Issei. "Where's Issei?" Asia worried. "Oh no, Issei-san." The Kendo worried. "No. We just got him back." Anko worried. "Did the pervert not make it?" Ingvald smiles. "He's fine." Riaz and her peerage confused. Riaz confused. "What do you mean?" Urza smiles. "My master is not one to let something like that kill him so easily." Riaz's eyes narrowed. "And how would you know?" Ingvald serious. "Because we've seen it." Urza serious. "That's right. Just this week alone, my master fought in battles that would have no doubt ended his life, and each of them are a lot stronger than Kekabil. So if any of you truly have any faith in Issei, then be patient." Everyone knew that Ingvald and Urza were right, since if Issei was able to do this much to Kekabil, then there should be no doubt that Issei could have survived that. Kekabil furious. "Where are you, Red Dragon Emperor? I know damn well you survived that blast. I will admit you're a lot harder to kill than the other Red Dragon Emperors." Issei smirks. "Well, at least I know that you're not that senile to think you could have killed me with that cheap tactic of yours. But I will admit you did intrigue me when you decided to use that tactic, since it's probably a move that others wouldn't use lightly even in the most dire of circumstances. Tuckles. But since you're so arrogant, and you have that superiority complex, you thought you still defeated me even with your arm being completely useless. Honestly, Kekabil, quit being a warmonger while you still can, and being a comedian, it suits you better." Riaz and her peerage as well as Zenobia felt relieved that Issei was alive, while Issei's group knew very well that Issei would survive that explosion, since Issei was the type of person to not give up and die so easily. Though the one question that was on everyone's mind was where Issei was, since his voice seemed to be coming from everywhere. Kakabia looked with both purpose and with intent to kill to find the whereabouts of the young Red Dragon Emperor, only to find no trace of him at all. Octavio looks around furiously. "Where are you, Red Dragon?" Assizes in disappointment. "Oh, Octavio, why did you have to disappoint me? I knew you were weak, but I would think with all that battle experience you gained over the centuries and survived the Great War, which involved God and the Devil Kings, I would think you at least be somewhat craftier so that you would still give me a challenge, but it seems I was wrong. But at least I know the truth now. You're a coward." The Kabiel. Furious. "What did you say?" "Say serious." "You heard me. You're a coward and a weakeningly. During the Great War, one bet you barely fraud anyone who was on your level or stronger unless forced to, so instead, you would go after angels and devils that were at a lower level than you, so you could have an easy win and convince yourself that you were a great warrior to be feared and respected. I would also bet when it was time to care for the two heavenly dragons, you quickly snuck away under a rock or something to avoid confronting them, since you knew well you would be killed. You talk about fallen angels being superior when you yourself are the biggest disgrace to your race for only bullying beings weaker than you." Kekabil furious. "Shut up. They say serious or what, Kekabil? Since it's pretty obvious you can't defeat me. You say you wanted to fight and kill the current male, so you decided to use Rias and Sona as way to draw out Sergiches and Seraphil. But all you've done is toy with them when we both know you could have killed both them and their peerage without even breaking a sweat. But you didn't because deep down you're scared. Sure, maybe you could take down Seraphil since the both of you are more or less the same in power, I would imagine. But knowing being all furious that her little sister was killed by a fallen angel will no doubt bring you near death before she fell herself. Then there's Cercicus, who had earned the title of Lucifer as well, being said one of the strongest devils of our time, has managed to reach the top 10 strongest beings in the world, and you wanted to piss him off by killing his little sister, who he no doubt treasures more than anything else. You wanted to piss off a being who had centuries of both combat experience as well as time to master the power of destruction, to the point I would imagine that he could no doubt destroy all of Qud just by standing still and making it almost impossible for anyone to get close to him. Sure, maybe if you had the support of Azazel and the rest of the fallen angels, you could stand a chance. But with just you alone, you might as well tape a sign to your chest saying, "Please kill me. I have nothing to live for." Bikabil furious, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up." Bikabil furious, "Then face me, you coward." Bikabil sighs, "Fine. But only because I've grown bored of this little charade, and I would like to go home and finally sleep in my own bed for once." Stab Kekabil. In pain. When Kekabil looked to see where the immense pain was coming from, he saw that his right leg was impaled by the Red Queen. But what shocked and horrified everyone was where the blade was coming from. It came from Kekabil's shadow. It was then everyone saw someone coming out of the shadow of the cadre fallen, only to see with a cold, bored expression on his face while still holding the handle of the Red Queen. Everyone in the area felt shivers down their spines. The Issei board, well, that wasn't even mildly as entertaining as I thought it would be. Kekabil. Furious, "Damn you, Red Dragon Emperor, I swear I will get you for this." Bikabil raises an eyebrow. "Really, with what legs?" Bikabil confused, furious, "What are you talking about with the legs I have of chop?" Bikabil blinks in confusion, looks down before screaming in pain. In one fell swoop, Issei, using the Red Queen, chopped off not only his right leg, but also his left leg, causing Kekabil to fall to the ground while a fountain of blood spurted out from where his legs used to be. Everyone was shocked and surprised how merciless Issei had become in the short time of a month, but what scared everyone was the look in his eyes. There was no joy, pleasure, remorse, regret, hesitation, or even sadness. All there was nothing but disappointment and pity. Kekabil furious while in pain, "Damn you! Damn you, Red Dragon Emperor!" Issei sighs, "Hold still, will you?" It was then Issei summoned a small flame aimed at the stubs of what used to like Kekabil's legs, which, of course, caused Kekabil to scream in more pain. Kekabil screams in agony, "Ah! What the hell are you doing?" Issei annoyed. "Oh, shut up, you big baby, and at least have a little bit dignity and man the fuck up in there." Kekabil groans in pain, "What the hell did you do?" Issei serious, "I cauterized the wound so you won't lead to death. Like I said, Azazel wanted you alive, but he didn't say in what condition." Kekabil glaring daggers, "Just who the hell are you?" Issei stoic sighs, "Fine. I'll tell you, since no doubt Azazel will throw you in a hole and throw away the key." It was then Issei lowered down Kekabil and whispered into his ear, which made the Gremry peerage curious on what Issei was telling Kekabil, though the people in Issei's group could already understand what he was telling Kekabil. It was then everyone who watched saw Kekabil's expression from glaring angrily at Issei to having an expression filled with shock and horror, which greatly confused the Gremry peerage on what exactly did Issei tell Kekabil. Kekabil horrified, "It can't be. It just can't be." Issei nonchalantly, "Yep." Kekabil horrified, "Get away from me, get away from me, you damn monster." Issei pretends to be hurt. "Ouch. Ot a monster. Look, I may be a lot of things, but I assure you that a monster is not one of those things. Unlike your weakling ass trying to start a genocide all willy-nilly and shit. To be honest, you're more of a monster than I am." Octavio, horrified, "Shut up. You're not even a devil, you're a damn abomination." It was then that Octavio started to crawl away with only using his arms. Issei, Ddraig, Nero, and Natsu had to admit that they were impressed by how fast Kekabil was moving without legs. When Issei saw that Kekabil was getting pretty, he decided to casually walk over to him since he thought it was time to end this, since he sensed that the magic square was still in place and he didn't have much time left. Though as he was about to walk over to Kekabil, he couldn't but remember a certain whistle that he saw from a movie he watched before leaving for his training trip, and ever since he heard that whistle, it's been stuck in head whether if he liked the sound of the whistle, or if just the scenario that he put Kekabil in that seemed to be the perfect time to whistle that song. As soon as Issei started whistling that tone, everyone felt a cold dark shiver down their spine, Even the stoic Kaneko and Leonardo couldn't help having an expression of fear in their eyes. Even Sona and her peerage, along with Velina, who was even a few blocks away, felt a deathly cold breeze hit them that made their very core shiver in fear. All while, Kakabil felt like if death itself had come to claim his soul. But when he looked to where the source of the whistling was coming from, he saw AJ casually walking towards him with the same cold and hollow look in his eyes, which made the cadre try even faster to run away. AJ, horrified, "No, please bear me," they say, raise an eyebrow. "Wow, you really are pathetic to beg for mercy in the face of your enemy." Serious. Now I'm honestly starting to think you just half-assed this idea of starting this war, not taking into consideration that maybe someone like me would come along and throw a wrench in your plans. Akabiel, horrified, they say, serious, honestly, you thought just because you survived the Great War, you could get away with this plan of yours and kill Riaz and Sona, in which it probably would have worked if I didn't show up. But your biggest flaw was that of your overconfidence. Maybe if you would have just trained your body a little bit more instead of just relying on the skills you had now, then maybe you would have given a run for my money. Snickershampf, maybe in another reality, you probably would have taken that into consideration and would have gotten the war you've always dreamed of. Smirks, but I think this has gone on for long enough. Nighty night, Kekabil. Kekabil, horrified, wait, please, St. Boom. It was then to say using some force punched Kekabil's face into the ground, which caused it to crack from the force. The punch rendered Kekabil completely unconscious, as well as destroying the magic square. Rias and her peerage, including Zenobia, were completely amazed and in awe that Issei was able to defeat a cadre-class fallen angel without the use of his boosted gear. Seeing that the battle was over, Leonardo made the Alto Angelos he created disappear, in which everyone excluding Zenobia ran over to Issei to congratulate him for defeating Kakabil as well as saving them. Issei, mind serious. Hey Drake, can you tell Albion that Volley can come down now so that we can get Azazel and Freitas back to Grigori? Drake's serious on it. Ease stretches, man, I'm exhausted. Everyone except Zenobia excited, Ease surprised, Ingvild smiles, San, that was amazing. Urza smirks with pride, I knew you would pull it off. I expect nothing less from my master. Leonardo smiles softly, impressive as always. Essie smiles happily, hey, look at you. You're smiling and it looks good on you. Asia smiles with joy, Essie, you're finally back. Thank goodness. Hiba smirks, I must admit, you definitely know how to make an entrance. Iniko stoic, I guess all that training really did pay off since you don't give off the typical horn dog vibe as usual. Issei smiles weakly, thanks I guess. Ikano smiles seductively, I must say Ice Khan. I'm really liking the new look that is going on. It suits you quite well. Issei smiles, thank you for complimenting Akino's senpai. Akino blushes. Rias smiles happily. Issei. Rias was over the moon that her beloved pawn had finally returned to her as well as saved her and her peerage from utter destruction. On top of the fact he was now a lot stronger and handsomer than before, which made Rias even more attracted to Issei. She was going to give Issei a huge hug while placing his face and breasts as a reward for such a good job. But before she could reach Issei, the boy in question judo chopped her head, which made her wince in pain. When she looked up, she saw that Issei had a super annoyed and disappointed look on his face. Ria's in pain while rubbing her head. Oh, what was that for? Issei annoyed, you idiot. Everyone except Issei's group shocked. Everyone in the Gremry peerage was shocked that Issei hit Rias, since none of them would have thought was capable of doing that. Rias confused. What did I do? Annoyed Rias yesterday. When we were on the phone, I asked you if anything bad was going on in Kwa, and you said everything was fine. I had a sinking feeling that you were lying to me about it, but I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt. But when I came back home, I heard from Azazel of people that we were going to be on the verge of being in another war, and that Kwa was going to be a complete wasteland. Were you as nervous? Well, I thought you would be here a little bit earlier, and then is saying annoyed, what if I didn't show up on time? What if I ended up showing up a day later? For fuck's sake, what if Ketchabil decided to enact his plans earlier than expected? Then not only you and the rest of the orc, but also everyone here would have been killed because you couldn't let go of your pride and call me for help. Bikino's serious. but we did. Earlier, I contacted Sergiches, and his forces would have been here soon, and we had to stall Kakabeel until then. Issei serious, by the time, it would have taken Sergiches to a massive force to stop Kakabeel, as well as getting approval would have taken forever by the time that those old fools would have approved of Sergic sending an army to help Riaz and Sona, then Kwa would have been wiped off the map. Aquino serious bud, say serious Aquino. Before I knocked out Kakabeel, I sensed that we had only a minute left before Kwa was going to be nothing left but an empty landscape. Sergiches would have been too late, and Kakabeel would have gotten exactly what he wanted. If Riaz would have let go of her pride and told her brother about the situation about Kakabeel being here beforehand, then they'd have stopped this all from happening a whole lot sooner. It was then everyone in the Gramry peerage became deathly silent because they had no idea how close they were from being completely turned into dust. All the while Riaz couldn't help but look down in shame because she knew that Issei was right and that if she would have told her brother ahead of time about what was happening, then both her and her peerage would be in such a life-threatening situation. Issei sighs in disappointment. I'm really disappointed in you, Riaz. Sadden, do you have any idea how I would have felt if something bad happened to you and I was too late to save you? Do you even need to know that I'm not always going to be there to save you? Riaz sad and I know. Issei sighs as such and helps to learn your lesson you need to be punished. Syria. So for a whole week you're not allowed to sleep next to me. Riaz's mind. Riaz honestly felt like a pleasurable part of her world had just completely shattered since to her a whole month without sleeping next to her. Issei felt like the worst kind of torture that she can endure. She thought when Issei finally came back to her that she would finally be able to sleep in peace as well enjoy the warmth of Issei's body again. But now Issei is telling her that she's not allowed to sleep next to him for a whole other week. She wanted to retort since he can't do that since she was his master, but his gaze which held so much power and domination and told her to submit her else. She then started to beg to please change his mind since she honestly didn't know how she would survive another week without her trusted body pillow. Riaz pleads, please, I say, change your mind. If you want, I can let you fondle my breasts as much as you want, but please let me sleep next to you. I haven't been able to sleep well without you next to me. I say, mind, sweat drops. Come on, Riaz. Have some goddamn dignity for yourself, sighs. I really have my work cut out for myself. Serious. I'm sorry, Riaz, but my decision stands. You need to face the consequences of your mistakes. Issei serious, yes, Asia. Issei nervous, can I still sleep next to you? Issei smiles warmly only if you want to, Asia, since this wasn't your fault. Asia smiles happily. Oh, thank you, Issei-san. Riaz pouts. What no fair if Asia gets to sleep with you, then I should too. They say serious no since it wasn't Asia's job to let me know something was going on in Kwa. You should have been your job as king to let me know that a threat was here that would have put you in danger. Riaz pouts. It was then a bright blue light shined on top of everyone and out came a person in white dragon armor with blue gems embedded around its body. When the dragon armor figure landed, the armor disappeared and out came a beautiful silvery white hair woman with light hazel eyes. When her eyes landed on Issei, she couldn't help but beam with excitement, since she couldn't believe how strong Issei had become in the short time upon becoming a devil. Volley excited ice. That was amazing. I can't believe you were able to beat Kakabeel without using your boosted gear. Easy Eye chuckles. Well, I thought it wouldn't be much of a show if I actually used it. Plus, if I used the boosted gear, then I would have ended up killing him by accident. Volley smirks while looking at Kakabeel. Well, even without the boosted gear, you sure did number on him. Are you sure Azazel will still pay you after he sees the state that Kakabeel is in? Issei smirks. Hey. He only said to bring him in alive? He never mentioned about the state he was supposed to be in. Volley smirks. Humph, I guess that's true since if it was me, I would have just ripped off his wings. They say smirks, damn, and people will think I'm cruel and sadistic. Volley smirks. Have you forgotten who your great-great-grandmother is? They say Sirius Raven told you, did she? Volley smiles, yep, Riaz serious. Say, who is this girl and how do you know her? Volley annoyed. None of your damn business, princess. Riaz annoyed. How dare you? Sighs. Okay. Can we please calm down now? Because I'm not in the mood to break off a catfight right now. Rias, this is the current White Dragon Empress, and she's one of my childhood friends, and she was sent here by Azazel just like me to help take care of Kekabil. This shocked everyone besides the people in Issei's group, since they couldn't believe Issei was actually childhood friends with his archrival, and the fact they were so chummy with each other hurt Rias in the wrong way. Valis smiles. Well, now that's out of the way, what do we see about bringing both Kekabil and that stray priest back to Grigori Ice? Issei smiles. Sure, I'll go ahead and pick them up. It was then Issei summoned a dragon clone in which he ordered it to pick up Freed while Issei put Kekabil over his shoulder. Everyone in the Gremry Peerage, including Valley, were amazed that there were now two Isseis. Albion, who was watching through the sacred gear, couldn't help but nod in approval that his great-great-nephew was excelling quite well in using his draconic abilities. Albion, smiles fondly. If you could see your great-great-grandson right now sting, you would be so proud. Rias shocked. Wait, to say, you're leaving with her? To say curious, who raises an eyebrow. Well, yeah, I need to turn in my bounty and get paid. Rias and her peerage shocked. You were getting paid? They say serious. Well, yeah, I said that it would have been easier and faster for me to just kill Kekabil, but Azazel said no, and that he would pay me if I kept him alive, so I accepted. They can no concern, but they say, aren't you afraid that this could be a trap and the Fallen will try to attack you? Aquino, sweat drops. I'm more afraid if I run into Albedo knees and while I'm there, or else I'm never going to leave. Aquino smiles and waves it off. Don't worry, Aquino-senpai. Everything is going alright, since even Azazel knows better than to piss me off. But can no concern him. Issa chuckles. Aha smiles while looking at his group. Are you three coming or what? Issei's group nods high. Kiba surprised. Wait, Nissan. Don't go. Urza smiles. It's okay, Isaiah. This time I won't be gone forever. I promise. Issei smiles. Don't worry, Kiba. You have my word that nothing will happen to Urza. Kiba serious, you better. Vali smiles. Shall we, eyes? Issei smiles. We shall. It was then Vali summoned a magic circle that would take them all to the Grigori. It was then Vala got hold of Issei's spare arm, which made nodding wild, but as well as Rias and Asia pout with jealousy. Or Issei had to hold down a blush as well as a perverted grin, since he had to admit that Vala matured and developed perfectly. And if he was being honest with himself, Vali's breasts felt even better than Ria's breasts. Issei, blushed in embarrassment. Damn, Vali's breasts feel amazing. Greg sighs while fussapoming. Why do I feel like you're ending up sleeping with my rival's host? Issei, deadpan. You do realize that you probably jinxed me and I might end up sleeping with her? Greg annoyed. Damn it. But those thoughts Issei and his group left in the magic circle, leaving a confused Gremry Peerage and Zenobia, as well as a pouting and jealous Rias. It was then Sona and her peerage came into the scene, secretly watching and listening to what happened. Sona honestly had to agree with Issei's statement about Rias about being too prideful for not contacting her brother sooner about the situation like she suggested a day or two ago, but she thought that they were enough, though she couldn't help but snicker at Ria's reaction about not being able to sleep next to Issei for a whole other week, since she knew how antsy she's been since Issei left to train. Sigi, on the other hand, couldn't help but glare daggers of jealousy at Issei and his new looks. Not only did he look like a great Casanova in the month that he was gone, but he also became strong enough to take down a cadre without using his sacred gear. But he also got 3 new beauties that would Rias, Aquino, and Sona to shame to follow him. It was then Sona decided to make her appearance known to the Gremry Peerage. Sona serious. Well, that was surely something, wouldn't you agree? Rias slightly and wide. How much did you hear? Sona serious enough, and even you have to admit, Rias, that he does have a point. Rias sighs. I know, but I wish he didn't sound so mean and disappointed about it. Sona, sighs. Rias, if only you that the only reason why he acted that way is because he loves you greatly. Sona serious. Well, in any case, Tsubaki, time to repair the damage done to our school. We should be able to manage before classes start. Rias serious. Can we help? So, in a serious note, taking care of the school is the job of the student council. But that being said, Riaz decided to tell her peerage to go home since she was too distracted to punish Kiba at the moment. The thought of how much Issei changed in just a month really bothered her. Even when she offered him to touch her breasts, he didn't even waver and was still adamant with her punishment. A part of her was proud of Issei that he wasn't just mindless pervert anymore, but a part of her couldn't help but miss the idiotic and naive boy that she was so fond of. A huge part of her now honestly regretted letting Issei go on that training trip, because if she didn't let him go, he would still be the lovable perverted goofball she had become to love. Riaz, mind serious, I want my Issei back. No. I will get back my Issei. Thanks for listening to my video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment below your favorite part. Sayonara, see you in the next video.